Please tell me you got that reference.
I did. Yeah. Oh, I love
This
it.
is why we're best friends.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm laughing so hard I'm crying. And we go live just as this happens.
Just as we start dying with laughter.
Oh my goodness.
I also saw this meme on Pinterest. It was like, don't wait for your ship to come to shore, like swim out to it. And then the tag was like, help, I've swum out too far, I'm drowning. Help.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, that could always be the start of one of those romance novels where they're just stranded on one of those islands and it spirals from there.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. All right, so we started. I just need to refresh I'm muted, refresh the YouTube. All righty.
I love the way that little emoji ship looks. It's so cute.
I was worried if it would show up, but I've seen other people do the emojis on the titles of the YouTube videos, so I was like, it should work. Here's hoping.
And I'm going to leave reading the comments. I just did my little awkward close-up trying to read to type. Something about having the computer on books and then trying to read with the progressives, which are the equivalent of bifocals. It's always going to catch you at just such a great angle.
You're like, let me see.
I swear I must look like I'm channeling my inner 80-year-old Nana when I do that. When I do my little lean forward.
Oh my goodness, yeah. All right, so I know I had messaged you if we were going to keep this, book related, or should we go to TV and movies? So I just made a master list.
Oh my goodness.
And so I made one for my books, one for movies, and one for TV. So I guess we're gonna do this however we do it.
This is your night. You were running the show. I literally wrote down, I think probably 7 because I just thought this was going to be more of a conversation. And we're going to have our fun little tangents along the way. That is going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I like this. Did you like it? I liked this.
What did you like? Oh, the video?
Oh, the video.
I will give it a little thumbs up right now.
Oh, there was already one thumbs up, so I think someone gave me a thumbs up. Hello, everyone. I saw your comment just now. Hello.
Yeah, we're up to 4. Someone's paying attention.
Hi, someone.
Hey, 5 people are watching, which is just super cool. I'm pretty sure we're 2 of them because we have the screens open.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm Nicole. My channel name is Who Picked This Book, and I'm here with the lovely Angela.
Hello, everybody, and this is my dog, Max, in case you're curious. He wanted to be picked up. I don't know how long he's going to last, but he wanted to say hi. I think he looks awesome. I swear, I think he looks at the webcam sometimes, or he tries to figure out where my attention is. I mean, when I'm looking at you, he kind of looks at you in your direction. Cute little face. Anyways, already on a tangent. I'm Angela. My channel is Books Are My Heart. Books Are My Heart, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WriterAHeart. I know sometimes we're like, where's the A? Is this an H? But it's my first initial and last name. And I love Nicole. She is my best friend in the entire world. I think she is just so precious, and I love her.
I love you too.
And I'm honored to be a part of her channel, this live stream. It's so cool.
I think we're going to have a really good time tonight talking about all of our favorite ships, and that is relationships, people we want to be together.
Yes.
Yes.
We've had this conversation before about how we both like to follow relationships in any storyline. So I really do feel as if this conversation is meant for us.
Oh, absolutely. Just, obviously I'm a romance genre lover, but even in different genres, whether it be fantasy or sci-fi, I'm very drawn to the relationship aspect of the book. So if there's a relationship in it, I'm all for it.
I want to do that Christina Aguilera gif where she's doing that, preach.
Yeah, honestly, like I am like relentless in my shipping. I will ship everybody.
And I'm just posting a little reminder on Instagram saying we are live.
Ooh, wonderful. I did post on Twitter that we went live. We're live.
You're such a good. You're so.
You're
and the dog is right here. He hasn't left.
He's on the table.
Yeah, he's on. What are you gonna do?
He wants to be a part of it. He loves you.
No.
All right. So, do we want to start with books or? Oh, Steve is here. Hi. Hello, Steve. And Ash Hearts Books. Hi. How are ya?
I know she's reading. I know she's reading Never Seduce a Scot. I saw that on Instagram and I reposted the picture. I'm so excited about that book. I'm gonna start it. Hi, the dog. He's looking at me. He wants attention. I'm gonna start that book pretty much tomorrow night. I'm really looking forward to it, especially because the reviews are so high, and I think this was a great book choice already, and I haven't even read it. So I'm so excited about that. And I saw her picture, and it's beautiful. So everyone should follow her on Instagram.
I saw the notification, but I haven't gone on and seen the picture yet. So I know she started reading it, and I can't wait to start reading it. I love Maya Banks, and this has been on my TBR for a while. So I'm very excited to start it. And
I saw
it, so.
I saw on my I checked because I have it on. I bought the ebook, and I told you it's been on my to be read list forever, and it said I bought it. I think over almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I've had this on my to be read list for a while. I forget when the book came out. I don't know if I bought it when it came out. I don't know the publication date, but I have had this book for a very long time.
Well, it's good that we're gonna read it then, because I don't know why. Sometimes, you know, when you get to read a certain book, you're like, why has it taken me so long to read this book?
I mean, sometimes I don't know if it's because of the way the iPad Kindle thing is formatted, where it just keeps getting pushed down, pushed down, pushed down. Yeah. So it was near kind of that weird 60% mark where you had to keep scrolling. So it wasn't at the forefront of my reading list. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But yeah, no, I mean, I have so many books listed on Goodreads. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe because, you know, when you if you have your thing set to most recent like purchases or whatever, it'll just keep pushing everything down. Yeah. So
it's exactly
about it. Steve is saying he's taking a small reading break. The Mistborn trilogy exhausted me. Yeah, that's a very long series, though. I could see why you did that, but I love that series. It's so good.
You posted a review on that, I'm pretty sure. It was on Goodreads, I think.
I did. Yeah. Well, I did
I follow you.
Yeah, I posted on Goodreads. Yeah, but it was so good. I loved it.
I haven't read it yet. Again, it's on the to be read list.
Yeah, one of my ships is actually from Mistborn, and that's really a good kind of tie-in, like a lead into the reason why we're doing this live stream is to talk about our favorite ships. So if we want to talk about books...
The dog just moved the laptop with his head.
What?
The dog, he just nudged the laptop with his head. He's right here.
He's like, don't forget I'm here. We could never forget you're here, Max. Hi, Max. Is he looking at me?
He's looking at you.
Oh, yay.
The big black eyes. So how would you like to talk about books first? Is that what we're saying? Is that what you were leaning towards?
I have listed, like I said, I've separated books, movies, and TV shows, and I've listed them in ascending order or descending order. Because I'm, neurotic. So if we want to talk about books first, we can. And I think you know this already, but my number one book ship is Hermione. Draco and Hermione. I think you know that about me already, but
I think we've had this discussion because I ship them really hard too. I always kind of weirdly liked them. I mean, there's a scene in the third movie when she hits him, and I know we're talking about books and movies, but there's a scene and he's running away. I don't know. There's just something there chemistry-wise, whether it's the book or in the movies. I think they just kind of have this. I don't know. There's a spark. Maybe I want that friends to lovers storyline. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm definitely into the hate to love trope, so they would be perfection with that trope. And I just really feel like Draco deserved a a redemption story that he didn't get. So I really wanted Hermione to be a part of that redemption story.
I mean, so I remember, this was a couple years back. I remember when J.K. Rowling said in an interview, or she made a comment saying how she wished Hermione had ended up with Harry. And I remember thinking, okay, I mean, if she's not going to end up with Ron, not with Harry, do something, a little far, go farther fetched, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve is saying there are way too many fan fictions out there about Hermione and Draco together, but you know what? It can work. I think that's why I actually started shipping Draco and Hermione, was because of fan fiction. But I think I have a story in mind about a Hermione fan fiction as well that I haven't written anything down yet for it, but it's always in my brain. I would love to write a Hermione fan fiction, but
I think in regards to Harry Potter fan fiction, I think people really ship Harry and Draco more than Hermione and Draco. That is the go-to Harry Potter fanfic / pairing. That is the go-to. I mean, Rainbow Rowell's, Carry On. I mean, that's some of the go-tos.
Absolutely. I think there's way more fan fiction about Draco and Harry than Draco and Hermione, but yeah, definitely.
Hey, that just means you got to write yours to just boost up the numbers.
Oh, this is my friend April. Hi, April. She's one of my coworkers at my. I work for a radiology facility, and she works at another location. I actually trained her. That's really cool that you showed up. Hey, girl, how are you?
Hi, April. Max apparently says hi, hello as well. The way he looked over when I was waving. Oh, that's so cute. That's so great that you tell people that you're doing, YouTube, and you share that part of your life with them. I love that.
Yeah, she loves books too. So it was really cool to talk about just that kind of stuff with her. And just because no one really else that I work with likes books. So it was fun talking about it with April. So luckily there are no patients right now. Oh, she works the night shift at one of the locations. So you're watching this while you're at work. That's awesome. Because I used to do that all the time.
I mean, is this at a hospital or a doctor's office? I mean, Tuesday nights, I'm hoping you're slower than the Saturday, Friday nights.
Yeah, we work in the outpatient center, so it's not in a hospital, but it's attached to an immediate care. So they're just there if the immediate care patients need x-rays. But so typically night times are slow. Sometimes they'll get like 1 to 2 patients. She says I'm such a good employee. You are. I trained you. You're fantastic.
You're like, hey, if you put down yourself, you're putting me down as well. Wait a second.
But yeah, definitely. I actually covered at her location one time, and I had never read so many books because there was like literally nothing to do. By the time you get all of your stuff done, you have literally 3 hours to do literally nothing. Oh, Steve is saying that my Twitter and YouTube accounts are open at my desk all day. As long as my work gets done, my boss has no issues. That's true. As long as you get your work done. As long as you're not ignoring patients.
Oh my goodness. No, I mean, I see, because I work from my apartment. I work from home most of the time. Even for my research job, I got to work remotely. I always have to, I'll take breaks where I'll go check it, but I can't leave things open. I would never get anything done.
That's nice that you get to work from home, though.
Well, most of the time, I mean, lately that's how it's been. And now that I'm going to be doing my dissertation research, I don't have to go to the physical campus as much. So that's going to be kind of nice.
Yeah, that will be. I did my last 2 years online. So I didn't like it at first, but then it was like the freedom I have not having to go to campus. April says, I'll be reading and a patient comes in and I'm like, dang, quit interrupting me.
That's how I feel about classes. Like if I got somewhere early and I would open up a book and then the teacher would come in and I'd be going, no, I don't want to have class. I want to just read my book. I get annoyed, even though that's what I'm there for.
Right? What are these people coming in doing their jobs? No, it's ridiculous.
He's like,
alrighty, so see, another tangent.
I know, right? I kind of made a very short list because, again, I knew we were going to have more of a conversation than anything else. My first bookish pairing is actually a question because I I mean, I do have an opinion, but it's a question. So, Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, Eowyn, or Arwen? Who would you pick? Who would you ship him with?
Definitely Arwen. But I mean, from a movie standpoint, I really did like Eowyn. I really liked her a lot. But of course, you know, it's true love. You can't separate true love. They were just made for each other.
It's like the little dog's moving around in case you see the little head. I was trying to move the laptop because he adjusted it again. Again, I think I saw the movies before I read the books because the movies came out when I was probably in middle school or elementary school or something. They came out a long, long time ago, right? Yeah, I saw the movies first, so I always imagined him with Arwen. I just always kind of had that in my head. And so then when I finally did pick up the books, I was picturing that playing out, so I was just rooting for them entirely.
That's awesome. Steve is saying that Eowyn still ended up with Faramir. Yes, she did. They didn't really touch on that in the movies, except for the extended editions they did, which was really, you know, cute. And Game of Tomes, Jessica or Christina or both. Hi, how are you? April is saying she hasn't read the books, just seen the movies, Lord of the Rings. Yes,
Who would you ship them with? Who would you ship them with?
Yeah. Steve is saying watch the extended editions. I will. Who do you ship Aragorn with? Arwen or Eowyn? Let us know. I know who you ship them with. But
yeah, I mean, in the movies, I think it's kind of a heartbreaking scene almost when she kind of expresses her feelings to him, and he gets on his horse and he just, rides away.
Yeah.
I don't think I think in the movies what they captured really well, at least from my perspective, is that she kind of fell in love with what he symbolized more so than him as, a person or as a character, because he, represented freedom. He represented the, opportunity to move beyond your station. So I think she fell in love with the idea of him more so than him. So that's the way I kind of wrap my head around really rooting for him and Arwen. Not just because I think, Liv Tyler's, fantastic, but she is. I also really wanted that necklace, which I never got, but I want that necklace. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
I mean, I remember when I was in New Zealand and they would see the Lord of the Rings stuff, I would just kind of gravitate towards it.
Ash is saying Arwen. Do not know how to spell that, but love them. Yeah, I think you spelled it right, so you're good. Arwen. April's going with Arwen. It's Maress. Hi, everyone. Listening to you guys while I eat breakfast. It's breakfast time. Hi, how are you? But in the end, when it comes to love and Lord of the Rings, everyone is happy the most for Sam.
What did he have? 12 kids or something? He
got it at the end. He was like, I'm gonna be happy, darn it. After all,
wasn't he mayor of didn't he become mayor of, the little their little town, the Shire?
The Shire.
Married, 12 kids, living the life.
That was a cute little scene at the end of the movie where, he just has this cute little daughter with her little ringlets and curly hair. I just thought that was so cute.
I love that end scene. It's because I love those movies. I really, this is again, total tangent. I'm really skeptical about the television show for Amazon. I have my doubts about this because the movies really captured the kind of the essence of the stories, and I think they came out at the right time. So I'm a little skeptical to see this become a TV show. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that.
I have to look more into that because I'm not exactly sure. But I haven't seen is there any kind of trailer or stuff out for it, or is it just?
They bought the rights. They're starting to, do little production things here and there. I don't think they've come out with any trailers yet. I know they just did the Jack Ryan trailer, and that was, 8 months in the making or something because they were doing those little tidbits forever. So with Amazon, I don't know when it's going to come out, but I am a little skeptical as to how it's going to be its own little kind of, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to become. But I kind of have my reservations about the TV show. I mean, I love the movies, big fan of movies. I love the books. But yeah, there's going to be a TV show now too.
That's really interesting. Steve was saying that that was his real daughter at the end scene. I didn't know that, but you just made my life, so thank you.
I did know that. And I also know he has a tattoo on his ankle because that's where all the original Fellowship actors got their, they got their tattoos for being.
Yeah, they all did. I thought that was really cool.
His is on his ankle. This was on IMDb page. It's on the ankle because he always had the Hobbit feet on.
There you go.
Fun fact about Lord of the Rings, people. That's why you should watch us ship things.
So he was also saying, I have no idea why they're making Lord of the Rings a series. I wish it was the Silmarillion. I really want some kind of adaptation of the Silmarillion, but I don't think it's going to happen. So moving on to my next ship. This is from a comic book, but it's Avengers just came out, Infinity Wars, and this is not spoilery at all. This is just, you know, two characters that I ship from that this comic book series. It's actually Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, and Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow. I ship them like there's nobody's business, and I'm so mad that they haven't introduced the relationship in the Avengers yet. So I'm just gonna go cry in a corner now.
Apparently Max agrees with you. You know, he decides to go bark at people just as you're saying this. He's going, yeah, I agree with that. I'm not familiar.
That needs to happen.
I'm not familiar with the comic book stories. I've been very honest and upfront. You know, superhero stories are not really my go-to. I don't naturally gravitate towards the superhero movies or television shows, but I do know those characters. I have seen the movies once each. I know that's probably not that much compared to, you know, the fans out there. I mean, I know the last time I saw the movie, I think they were trying to ship her with the Hulk.
Yes, and I wasn't on board with that. April is saying, oh, I would totally be on board with that. The Bucky, Natasha, yeah, definitely needs to happen.
I mean, I don't know what the character's real name is, but the guy who plays Captain America, I don't know what the character's name is. I know people on Tumblr are always saying they should be, you know, the slash fiction, you know, fanfic for them.
Yeah, a lot of people. Oh, Chris Evans?
No, the character.
Oh, Steve Rogers.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know.
No, it's okay.
I mean, I've only seen them once, and that was.
I thought you meant the actor. I was like, oh, it's Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan. But I have seen fan fiction that they want Captain America and Bucky to be together.
That was the relationship I thought you were gonna say when you said Bucky's name. That's where I thought you were going with that.
No, with Natasha.
Because in my head, because of the films, I was picturing her and I don't know what the character. I know he's the Hulk, but I don't know the character name.
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner. I need Bannon. I just remember that terrible Ed Norton movie. No offense to anyone who liked it, but that movie was awful to me. I just remember that terrible movie. That's all I remember when it comes to the Hulk. And then Mark Ruffalo there riding up on a little scooter in one of them. I don't know which one. I mean,
oh yeah.
That's all I get. And even then, it was Josh Reed and Buffy, you know, the Vampire Slayer creator there, which is why I think I actually saw the movie or actually, you know, said, yeah, I'll go see it. Because, you know, it's a Josh Whedon production.
Because Joss Whedon is brilliant. April says, I haven't read the comics, but Sebastian Stan is hot. Yeah, he is. And Ross is saying, mine's T'Challa and Storm. So sad it probably is not going to happen in the movies in this lifetime. That would be really awesome. I love T'Challa and I love Storm, so I could totally see that. Steve says, I just rewatched The Incredible Hulk. It's a good film, but Edward Norton would not have fit in the MCU the way it turned out. I could see that.
So Moonrise Kingdom, I think Wes Anderson is a complete gem. He's one of my favorite directors. Moonrise Kingdom is one of my favorite films. I love that movie so much. So every time now, whenever someone mentions him, I just picture him as that Boy Scout leader in that weird khaki outfit. That's my go-to image for Ed Norton. And I know he's been in so many movies. I know he's been in, you know, all these famous Academy Award nominated films, you know, in those National Archives. But to me, you know, he's Moonrise Kingdom.
That's awesome. And I wasn't really upset when they hired Mark Ruffalo to replace Edward Norton. I mean, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sounds good.
Again, you know, if you want to go movie ships, I always think of him with Reese Witherspoon, Just Like Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite rom-coms. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's totally out there, but I love that movie. That was when Reese Witherspoon was doing her rom-com, you know, ventures. It was just all sorts of awesome. Just loved it.
That's great. I haven't seen that movie in so long. Oh my gosh.
You should. And then you should watch all of her others. You should go watch she had all of them, and I don't know what's up with my phone. It just turned on. I think when I said the word series, Surrey turned on.
It's always seeming to turn on when we're having our live stream.
I know, right? He's gonna bark. I just heard people in the hallway. He's gonna go for it. I saw her comments. No, I mean, Reese Witherspoon, you know, come here.
There
what was the other one? Because she did a whole bunch of them. A Sweet Home Alabama, you know, Just Like Heaven. That was the heyday.
I love Sweet Home Alabama.
Right? That's one of my other favorites with her. I say this all the time. I'm so mad at The Office when they put down Legally Blonde. I was so mad about that throwaway line about how they were judging people who said they wanted to bring Legally Blonde to the island to watch as one of their 5 movies. But yeah, I love Legally Blonde. I love Just Like Heaven. You know, Sweet Home Alabama. I mean, I love those films. I ship them all. This is not a tangent. This is on track.
This is on track. She ships all the relationships. Amber. Hi, Amber. I don't think I've seen you in the comments before, but I don't read too much Marvel comments, but I can't get enough Stark and Banner relationship in the movies. They're really good, like bromance all the way. But the Sherlockian in me is also fine with Strange and Stark. I love that they're in a movie together because obviously Benedict Cumberbatch plays the BBC Sherlock, and then Robert Downey Jr. played Sherlock in the movies, and I just love their interaction. They're great.
I totally forgot about the Robert Downey Jr. one because it had that steampunk. It was that Victorian steampunk type of take on it. I mean, I would go for the BBC version much more than the film adaptation with Robert Downey Jr. That's my personal preference. If you prefer Robert Downey Jr. films, you know, no judgment. That's, you know, each his own. But I really, really love the Sherlock series. I binged that on Netflix. that was not even. When I found out Netflix had it and I watched the first episode, that was what I was doing that day.
Yeah.
That was my day.
And it's so good. It's kind of, sad that each episode is, there's only 3 episodes in each series. That's what they call it. And they're each like an hour and a half, but it's like you're watching a full on movie. And so when you go on, if you binge that series, you're a pro because each episode is an hour and a half.
Right? That's the way, because I was trying to get my mom to watch it. I don't think she ever did, but I pitched it as, it's not really a TV show. It's like little mini movies or you have movies. I was pitching it as, it's kind of, you got, a series of movies. That's the way I was trying to pitch it to her to watch. I don't think she ever did though. I mean, Baker Street, she never made it there.
Never ever?
Never. I don't think she watched that one. I mean, if we want to stay on track here, I thought it was cute how they had his, real life wife at the time. I think they've since gotten divorced, but that was my first introduction to her as an actress, and I cannot remember her name now. But I just saw her on that. I tried to put it on. It's based on the book The Safe on Netflix. It has the guy who played Dexter in it, Michael. What is it? Hall? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw her, I got so excited. I'm going, "You're Mrs. Watson. You're Dr. Watson's wife." That was my first. As soon as I saw her, my mind was just going to Sherlock. It didn't matter. It was a new character. It didn't matter. It was a new TV show. I was just thinking Mrs. Watson. That's all I kept thinking.
It's so funny how actors just stay in your mind as one particular character that they played.
I know, she had a new hairstyle. I mean, she looked adorable. I mean, she had kind of red hair and it wasn't in a bob. I mean, she looked different, but I mean, to me, Mrs. Watson. I'm like, you're Mary Watson. That is who you are to me.
That's awesome. Steve is saying, hey, no one even remembers that Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard as War Machine. I did remember that, but Terrence
I knew that. And I only saw the movies once. What do you mean nobody remembers?
I remembers. Because that was a big thing. It was because Terrence Howard wanted more pay or whatever. He was mad that he wasn't getting paid as much. But I like Don Cheadle. I like Don Cheadle. He's better. It's fine. Maras is saying Fight Club always. I think that's when you were talking about how you remember Edward Norton, and she's thinking Edward Norton is in Fight Club. Which same girl.
I mean, wouldn't you be thinking of Brad Pitt though in Fight Club? I mean. Yeah.
Well, when I think Brad Pitt, I also think Troy. That's the first movie my mind goes to for Brad Pitt.
April for Innocent Side, so I can't even. I won't even go down that path. I ship her with anybody. I want her happiness.
I just want her happy. April is saying, yeah, the Strange and Stark banter in Infinity War was great. Yeah, I really liked the banter between all of the cast. It was just awesome that all the cast is together and you can see how they interact. It was just, if you haven't seen it, you need to. It's fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it? You need to.
I haven't seen it. Well, usually someone kind of makes me. Usually someone says, or oh, have you seen it? Or it's on Netflix or on HBO, in which case I just kind of go with it then when it's free.
There you go. That's better. If it's free. Maras is saying
Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is okay. My two exceptions. Okay, I will tell you my exceptions. The Dark Knight and Wonder Woman. Those are my two superhero movie exceptions. I love Wonder Woman with a burning passion, and The Dark Knight, I remember I really wanted to go see that movie, and it was everything. I loved it. The Christopher Nolan ones, I'll give you those. Those ones I'll give you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I loved Wonder Woman. It was great. Maras is saying, and Rachel McAdams is both their love interest. For the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock, and then also Doctor Strange.
I love her. I ship her with anybody and everything. She's just, I love her. She's one of my favorite actresses. I just adore her. I think she's just so cute. She's good at her job. She's very sweet.
Yeah. I love her really in anything she's in. It's very entertaining.
I mean, I think she's stunning. I can't get over the fact she's had every single hairstyle and she just looks incredible in every single one of them.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
That's a girl thing for me to say as the dog was moving my arm, in case you're wondering why I was just awkwardly positioning myself. She's just, I'm obsessed with, I remember she did Slings and Arrows. It was a Canadian television show. It had to do with production. And I remember that was one of her first roles. And I love her. She's so cute.
You've been obsessed ever since.
Yes. And this is before The Notebook. This is before The Household Name. And I remember going, oh, she's talented. So I feel as if I was on the Rachel McAdams bandwagon way before a lot of people.
Yeah, because I jumped on her bandwagon with The Notebook. I didn't even know that other one existed. So
it was a TV show. I think Netflix had it for a little while, but I think they lost the rights a couple of years ago.
Oh, I hate when they do that.
That's the worst, especially when you have something on your watch list and then it goes away and you didn't realize it went away. That bugs me. I don't know if it bugs me.
It bugs me too. I hate when things, what I hate is when things get canceled and they didn't know they were going to get canceled and then their season finale is like a cliffhanger. I don't like that.
I remember that, the hot chick. I don't remember why I saw that movie, but I did. I don't know if you really enjoyed that movie or not. They switched bodies and
yes. I'm trying to remember her. Oh,
she was the quote unquote hot chick.
Yeah, but it's like I'm trying to remember that movie. I know the concept. I know I've seen it, but seriously, I'm trying to just picture like one scene in my head and I can't.
Yes, Firefly. Oh my goodness.
Firefly, rest in peace. Yeah.
Never get over that one.
I will never, ever get over it.
We were just talking about Josh Whedon before, Firefly. I think, honestly, at the time, he was a showrunner for Angel, Buffy, and then Firefly. I wasn't really surprised something fell through the cracks. I'm not blaming him, but that's a lot on your plate to be a showrunner, not just a producer, not just in the writer's room, but a showrunner. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I mean, maybe if they had gotten someone else, maybe second season, but that one hurt. That one hurt.
April says your puppy's cute.
Oh, thank you. He's very fidgety. I don't know why he's right in my lap. He's here. He says hi to April too.
Okay, so just moving right along. The next ship I want to talk about, just because I'm actually reading Voyager by Diana Gabaldon right now, is Jamie and Claire from Outlander.
Not Jamie and what's his name? Frank. Not Jamie and Frank. Or excuse me, Claire and Frank.
No, not Claire and Frank. No, I actually dislike Frank with a burning passion. But yeah, Jamie and Claire. Yes.
I mean, again, I think I kind of fell off the Outlander series around the third or fourth book. I don't remember which one, but I do watch the show. I did a kind of study on the Network of Stars, and so I use that as my case study. I think the show does a great job. They do the female gaze. It's utterly unique. They have great cinematography, great costuming. I really like the show.
I love the show. I love it. And I love Sam Hugan and, oh my gosh, I just blanked on her name.
Karina Belfleur.
Thank you. Their chemistry together as Jamie and Claire are just, it's magical. It's magical.
I think they really captured something that the books for me maybe didn't. I don't know if that's the case, but they really do have great on-screen chemistry. I think they, I would ship them as the TV series characters, maybe more so than the book characters.
I completely agree with you.
I don't know. In the book, for me, it was a little bit more of a love triangle. She would randomly start talking about trees for an entire, 2 pages. I don't know. The show, I really enjoy the show. So I would ship the characters in the show. I ship that.
Yeah, Diana Gabaldon is, she describes things like to a T. Like all of her books are seriously over 1,000 pages. They could be like maybe 500 pages if she didn't describe stuff so much.
I don't know if we had this discussion. I think it's maybe come up before, but I remember talking with someone. I think it might have been you talking about if Outlander was trying to get published today, they would have heavily edited it down, so it would not be the current type of book.
Right. I don't think you were having that conversation with me, but I completely agree. I think half of that book could have, gone by the wayside and would have just been fine.
I remember having a conversation talking about the current publishing industry and how they're trying to streamline the narratives and how that book would probably have gotten heavily edited. And so, this is totally off topic, but my biggest pet peeve with Outlander is the fact that they don't know which genre to place it in. And I kind of partially blame Diana Gabaldon for that because she always tries to pitch it to whoever her person is. If you like military history, she tells you it's a military history book. If you like romance, it's a romance. If you like time travel, it's a time travel. So I think that creates a little bit of a conundrum for placing it in regards to genres.
Yeah, when you go into Barnes & Noble, you'll find it in the fiction section.
I know.
It's like a safe place for everything. Just put it in the fiction section.
Because technically speaking, people still kind of grapple with that.
Yeah. Because honestly, I would think, people think it's a romance, but then I know in one interview, Diana Gabaldon said it wasn't a romance. Like, I think you told me that.
Yeah,
I read that somewhere.
I posted the article over on the Twitter. She did an interview recently. I think it was with either The Guardian or I can't remember the other outlet, but I remember she did say that. She says it's not really romance, and I kind of agree because of the fact it doesn't have the happily ever after in every book, which is one of the qualifying elements. But because it's such a love-centric narrative, it's really hard to say it's not romance-centric. It doesn't have the romance genre components. But the happily ever after, the whole won't they end up together? It carries on for so many books. They'll get on the TV show. There was a series of 3 episodes, and over the course of 3 episodes, he found her, he lost her, he had to go get her back. And so every episode, he had to go try and figure out what was going on. For a romance novel, yeah, the happily ever after is a big thing, so I can kind of see why it's not necessarily categorized that way. But, the romance in it, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. And I ship it. Ship it hard.
For this one, it's definitely one of those few and far between things where I actually prefer the TV show or the film adaptation to the book series. So I honestly think that almost never happens. But I do prefer TV show as opposed to the books on this one. And April is agreeing with me, Jamie and Claire forever. Ash says, I love Outlander. I'm obsessed with the show, but couldn't get past the first book. Those books are so, they're so dry and they're so descriptive. Like, if I wasn't in love with Jamie and Claire, I probably wouldn't have continued on with the series because, like I've said this probably 1,000 times, like if there is a relationship in a book that I am drawn to, that will make me continue to read the book, even if I would have already put it down at this point. April says, I also ship Sam and Katrina, such great chemistry. Yeah, those two together, they just need to be together, like in real life too. That would be amazing.
I think she just got engaged. I saw that announcement on Twitter because they had her standing there with the fiance showing off the ring. I remember that was on Twitter. I don't know who the guy is, but I think she's engaged, and it's not to Scott. It's not to the Scott.
If it's not to Sam Hugan, I don't care about it.
It's stunning though. I don't know what she's gonna do for her wedding, but I'm sure she's gonna look fabulous. That much I do know.
She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
I love the costuming. It doesn't matter what they put her in. She looks pretty no matter what. No matter what century she's in, no matter what it is, she always looks pretty.
I love season 2 with all like the French style, like bright colors for her. I mean, she was gorgeous in season 2 with all like the French style dresses, and oh, she was gorgeous. I loved it.
I know you're thinking of the red dress. That was the famous one. The famous red dress. They even gave her that staircase entrance. What is it? Staircase entrances? Come on, they gave her the staircase entrance.
They have to with a dress like that. But I also really like that yellow dress, the yellow one she wore.
I think if you watch Stars, they do those after the episode ends. They'll do that extra 5 minutes where they're talking with the showrunner, the executive producer. And I remember the wedding one, they were talking about the dress. That was their 5-minute conversation talking about the dress. And I'm going, yes, thank you for this. I needed this.
Because it was gorgeous.
The bodice, just the everything about it was just stunning. I mean, if I was her, I'd try and keep that dress. I would want that dress.
Just take it with you offset. Like, no one can stop you.
Hey, it was made for her anyway.
Exactly.
Not going to fit anybody else. It was made for her specifications.
Do you have another bookish ship, my dear? I think I went twice in a row, and I apologize for that.
So I have a random one, and it's more of a friendship than a relationship. And so, because they're all ships, so friendship, relationship. So Brienne of Tarth, I think she's my favorite character on Game of Thrones. I love her. I love the character. She's my favorite. If anything happens to her, I'm gonna go out of my mind. I'm gonna lose it.
Kill somebody.
If anything happens to her, they're gonna lose me. I'm gonna be so upset. But I really love her being in a friendship with Jaime Lannister. I think that's utterly adorable. I love that friendship. I mean, not a relationship. I'm not rooting for them as a couple. And there's that moment where I forget the guy's name, the red-haired, warrior that becomes the friends. He has his little crush on her. That's so cute. But I love her little friendship with Jaime Lannister. I think that's just, I don't know, it warms my heart for some reason. And you can give me that look like, yes, I agree with you.
I agree with you 1,000% because I love the friendship between Jaime and Brienne because she brings out kind of the good in him, makes him question his decisions, and you can totally see a difference between when Jaime is with Brienne and when Jaime is with Cersei. And like he is questioning everything after just those few moments with Brienne, and I love them together so much. But I really, on the TV show, with her and the wildling, his commentary about her is so adorable.
I love him. And then when they brought down the wall, he was there, and I'm going, if you killed him and this relationship doesn't happen, I'm gonna be so mad. Because you don't know what happened. He was at the top of the wall when Demon Dragon came and brought it down. And so in my own head, I'm thinking, if he was on that wall and that dragon brought it down, I'm gonna be so mad.
I'd be so upset.
Because I need that relationship. I need that relationship to happen. I'm rooting for that relationship. I mean, the way he talks about her, I mean, it is just every time, just a big smile on my face. Can't help it.
He's so cute. He's so cute. He's like, I want to make giant babies with her. I just can't. He's so adorable.
And I mean, he's a tall guy too. I mean, I know hypothetically speaking here, those children, they would be very tall human beings.
April is agreeing. She makes him less of a douche. Yeah, definitely.
Again, I know we have the main family members, Eddard Stark, when, he passed away, we were following the Stark children, and that's, the point of the show. But I love her. She's my favorite character. And so I was looking at the books, I was looking at TV shows, and I kind of thought, no, I'm going to mention her. I have to mention her because she's my favorite.
Yeah, well, she's on my list, so if you didn't mention her, I would have, so I loved it.
Who are you shipping her with? Wait, who are you shipping her with?
Definitely a friendship with Jaime, but I shipped her with the wildling.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, yes, this is why we're best friends. Totally same wavelength. I agree with you 110%.
We have one brain. This is why we're best friends. April saying, I love that too. Also how Brienne looks at the wildling like, that is not going to happen, but we all want it.
Yeah. I took a screenshot of that. Okay, so I went above and beyond trying to get the perfect picture of that moment, but because of the blue hue that they have while filming, it's really hard to get a really good still of that. And the thing is, I spent way too long trying to get that to know exactly the color theme motif. I really put in the effort, but it was so hard to get the still of it. But I tried. I probably have it on my phone. I really tried.
That's awesome.
A lot of effort.
That just means you care about it.
I care about her. I care about her so much.
Yeah, she's one of those characters where I need she needs to be through the end of this series, because if she's not, I'm gonna be very upset. But next one, this is another this is more towards YA, but my next two are going to be Sarah J. Maas related, and I think everybody knows who I'm going to be talking about, but obviously Feyre and Rhysand.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. No clue who I wanted to ship those with. Yeah, Feyre and Rhysand. Wonderful. Because Angela and I have had this conversation that when we both read the first A Court of Thorns and Roses book.
I found it.
Oh, you found it?
I was trying so hard. I told you I had it on my phone. I spent a long time trying to get this picture.
I love that so much.
I have it.
That is the best. That's the best. He's like looking at her like, yeah.
I love her little furrowed brow. She looks so quizzical. She's my fave. I love her.
You zoomed it in.
She looks so annoyed with him. I mean, it's so cute. I love it.
It's so adorable. And he's all like, he's giving her that look like, I'd climb you like a tree. He'd probably have to. She's probably taller than him. April is saying, I am so in love with Feyre and Rhysand. I'm halfway through A Court of Frost and Starlight. Okay, I finished that book, and when you're done, you need to tell me how you liked it. But we're not going to talk about that right now, because I could talk about that for 5 million years. But, so yeah, Feyre and Rhysand, what I was talking about is Angela and I have had the conversation that when we first read the book in the ACOTAR series, that we were not on the Feyre and Tamlin bandwagon. You know, we were like, oh, something's wrong with him, you know, like, let's not. And so when we read A Court of Mist and Fury, it just all made so much more sense now that, you know, obviously she's not with Tamlin. And spoiler alert to anybody who hasn't read that series.
You better be on the second book at least.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
I liked the series. I don't think I loved it as much as everybody else seems to. Again, I told you about this. I've been very upfront. I had a video where I was talking about Tamlin and how I was not in favor of that relationship, how they were displaying, you know, really abusive behavior, you know, characteristics. And I kind of laid it all out there. It was a rather long video. And then people got mad at me saying, oh my goodness, how can you say this? They're meant to be. They're perfect. And then, you know, a year later when they, you know, the other relationship emerges, oh yes, he was abusive, and everyone went on the bandwagon, and I'm going, okay, now people think this.
Right, I done told you that last year.
I think that was, I ended up deleting the video. It's not even on my channel anymore because people were getting really vicious. People with their literary preferences and their favorite characters and stories, they get nitty gritty on you.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's like you can't even post like book reviews anymore because if it's a negative review, people are out to lynch you.
I mean, it wasn't even a negative review because I think she's a great writer. I think she, you know, great descriptions. She's able to do world building very well. I wasn't actually commenting at all on the series. I was commenting on that characteristics in the relationship. Mm-hmm. I was very favorable towards it. I didn't say anything. I think I ended the video saying, you know, I hope in the second book something changes. And guess what? I was right. I was right. The video is gone, so I can't even say, look.
I told you. Ha.
I can't even get the I told you so moment because I deleted the video because so many people were, you know, I think that was actually one of the most comments I got at that point in time because that was when I first started my channel. And the first time people were commenting, they were mad at me. So I think that's why I took the video off because it was the first time I was really getting a lot of comments and it just wasn't, people were saying how wrong I was. But I mean, I do see some issues with the other relationship as well.
Yeah. I mean, no relationship is perfect.
Well, having her dance, you know, dressed rather provocatively or in very little in front of an audience because he's trying to, you know, show something or do something is not exactly
he was trying to put a certain persona on stage for a certain court.
I know. I love how I was trying to be spoiler free-ish. I was trying to choose my words very, very carefully. Yeah, I mean, there's some things and he goes about things in a way that's not always the best. And I'm actually a bigger fan of Rice than I am of her. I'm a bigger fan of him than I am of her. Putting that out there.
Yeah, I think he's an amazing character. I really, like if we had like a prequel series from Rhys-Ann's point of view, I would love it so much.
Well, now there's a little baby mass on the way, so she's probably going to be a little bit busier now.
Yes. Yeah, I just thought that was so adorable, too, that she's preggers.
Preggers? She's not pregnant. Preggers.
Preggers. April's saying, the series is amazing. I can't seem to get into Throne of Glass, which annoys me. I still need to read Tower of Dawn, and I still need to read Assassin's Blade. I'm probably going to do that before the very last Throne of Glass books comes out this year. But it took me a while to get into the Throne of Glass series. I didn't like the first book. Really, I mean, I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, but it just took so long to get into. I really didn't get into that series until book 3, which I'm surprised that I stuck with it. And I think that's when Rowan comes in, so that makes sense.
I mean, I'm one of those. I purchased. I believe it's in my office. I have those books in my office. Those bookcases, not the ones behind me. I have that many bookcases in my apartment, and I have them there. I opened the first one, got a little bit into it, and I said I'll get back to this later. And for some reason, I just never did. So yeah, now I have books that are unread, and I'm one of those. And I really am one of those people where I always try and read books, and it wasn't a matter of just not liking it. I wasn't invested, or maybe it was not the right time, maybe I was tired, and I just kind of put it aside, but I never made my way back to it. I have every intention of reading that series, but for some reason I just haven't gotten back to it yet.
Yeah, it took me until about book 3 to really get invested in the characters, and April's asking, should I power through? Yes, you should, because it does really get good the last half of the series, which that sucks that you have to get through like the terrible books before you get to the good stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed Empire of Storms, which I think is the last book. I really, really enjoyed that one. So
yeah, I was spoiled a little bit because, people on Goodreads are posting and people on BookTube are talking about it, and a lot of people don't post spoiler warnings. If you post book reviews, please post your spoiler warnings. And so I kind of got spoiled. I kind of found out some stuff, and some of those things, again, are not plot points that I particularly enjoy as a reader. So I think that's part of the reason why I haven't picked it up again, because I know there are certain things that are going to annoy me, and I don't want to read that. I like to, it's been a very long year if you watch my channel or you've heard me talk before about my dissertation. So I've been reading a lot of really fun, upbeat books when I get the chance. So if I know something's going to annoy me, I'm probably not going to naturally gravitate towards that. And that's not to say the whole book is going to annoy me, but I know certain plot points that are just not going to sit well.
Yeah, and a lot of some books you have to be in the mood for. So definitely, it's definitely a mood read, So if you want light and fluffy, don't read that series.
Yeah, I mean, I had, again, for my project, I'm studying the romance genre. I was trying to read all the subgenres. And so I was reading these dark books because those are the ones that are, get the most stigma, has the most shame. And so I'm reading these books. I couldn't sleep at night. And so whenever I could read for fun, I was reading, these rom-coms. I was reading these upbeat, happily ever afters. And so I think that's, again, one of the reasons why I just haven't gotten back to that series yet.
Yeah, definitely.
You're confirming and validating that decision, saying, yeah, if you want a happy read, no.
Yeah, definitely. Stick if you want. Yeah, it's not a happy upbeat. At least the last one isn't. So
and I think this just fell farther and farther down the to be read list with that new information. Just putting that up there. I mean, I love my happily ever afters. This is why I read a lot of romances, and I love my young adult, new adult books. I love my happily ever after guarantee. I need that.
With the last book being released this year, I know how I want this series to end, and if it doesn't end the way I want it to, I'm gonna be very upset.
Isn't that the worst when you have your expectations and you're anticipating something? You're just hoping the writer does it justice.
Right. Do you have any other bookish?
I only wrote down a few. I mean, I kind of just wrote down Jane Austen. I didn't even write down the characters. I just wrote down Jane Austen.
Literally everybody from Jane Austen.
I just kind of went Jane Austen. That was my note.
Yeah, so obviously, this wouldn't be a favorite ship video if we didn't talk about Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet.
I love him. I love him so much.
I love him so much.
I love him. I have my little heart.
Honestly, they are the cream of the crop here. You know, they are just wonderful. I think this is where my hate to love trope love comes in, because I love them. I don't know. I think hate to love tropes are more realistic to me instead of insta love. So I love their relationship. I love how they just gravitate towards each other, and I can't say enough good things about them. I love them so much.
I love him. He is my literary husband. I've read Pride and Prejudice every year since I was probably 11 or 12. I love Pride and Prejudice. I mean, it's just, to me, that is one of the best books ever written. I just love it. The characterizations, being able to capture all those themes and the society elements. I mean, just everything. Just Jane Austen, I love you. She is the goddess divine. I remember at the Folger Library, they did a Shakespeare and Jane Austen exhibit, and of course, I had to go. Right. It had to be done. And so, oh my goodness, why am I blanking on her name? Sense and Sensibility. She wrote this, Emma Thompson. She sent in her screenplay with her hand notes, and she goes, the goddess divine. And she, when referring to Jane Austen, she wouldn't even say Jane Austen in her notes. It says the goddess divine. I'm going, and that stayed with me. So now she is the goddess divine to me as well. I love Jane Austen. And Emma Thompson, gave me that, catchphrase. I love it. But yeah, I mean, Pride and Prejudice to me, I love that story. Maybe this is actually, I think I had the opposite effect with this, the love to hate, or the hate to love, excuse me, because it's so well done. I think my standards are so high for it. And so I think if you really can't grasp that, don't try. It's really hard. It's really hard because when you read the best, the bar is just so high. But Mr. Darcy, I love how he falls in love with her over time, and vice versa. It's so sweet to me, and I love the realism, like you just mentioned. That is, again, that's why I love that book, because it is grounded. It's not the insta love or insta lust or whatever. I'm gonna marry you in a week because that's how this is done in romance land. Even Captain Fitzwilliam, what's his? Oh my goodness, I'm blanking. Anne Elliot and Captain Wentworth, those two also second chance over time.
Yeah. Yes. Marat says Angela and Mr. Darcy for life.
He is. He's my guy. I love him. I don't know if you've seen one of my videos where I just have this giant heart I just kept popping up hearts around him. And I really enjoyed putting the special effects there because I got to, spend time with Mr. Darcy.
Yes, for life. I ship you and Mr. Darcy.
I know I'm not going to get a tattoo, but if I ever did, I swear, the love about, I love you ardently, that would be one of the tattoos. That would be the tattoo.
Most ardently. Yes.
That would be the tattoo. I mean, I would never get a tattoo, but that would be the tattoo.
That's wonderful.
Just saying. He's my guy.
April is saying, the book is awesome, but the movie with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden at the end when they walk towards each other over the hill. Oh, sigh. Yes, that is the scene.
That scene is everything.
Everything. It's beautifully shot. The acting and chemistry is, oh my gosh, I can feel the tension and the love. The music, yes.
Everything. That scene is just utter perfection. I cannot tell you how many times I've tweeted that GIF. I cannot even begin to count the number of times I've tweeted that GIF. I love that scene. Joe Wright nailed it. I mean, I love it. I
can't tell you how many times I've just watched that clip on YouTube. Just that scene.
I mean, it's here. Okay, this is my little personal, take on things. So in the in the original kind of miniseries, everyone always talked about the scene with Colin Firth when he went swimming, but that was the go-to scene everyone talked about. But for the Keira Knightley version, everyone's always talking about the scene where he's walking to her. There's something there, I think, the fact that you have these kind of moments of Mr. Darcy in your head, and so when you picture him walking to her, there's something there, I think, to say like how that's the one scene that always sticks with people as the viewer. There's something to that, I think, that you have this one scene that you kind of remember specifically, and you're looking at me like you're nodding your head going, yeah, there's
yeah, because like we said, that scene, it has literally everything. It has everything we're looking for. It's gorgeous. Beautiful man, beautiful woman, and you can feel the love that they have for each other, the chemistry that is everything, and the music, like you said, it's just when you're hearing the music and when you're watching the scene, and it's just I'm getting chills right now. It's just, and it's 110 degrees in Phoenix right now. I'm getting chills because just thinking of that scene and how utterly perfect it is. It's just beautifully shot.
I don't know how he's never won a Best Director for anything. I mean,
I don't either.
I think he did Atonement. I know he's done other stuff. Joe Wright, he should win something. I want to give him an award. I don't care what it is. I just want to give him an award.
April said, and he stutters, I love, because he loves her so much. Yes, when he says it 3 times, like, oh gosh, I love you. So beautiful.
There's actually, there's a book, and I was talking about, because again, I've been studying the romance genre. This is my life. There's actually a book that spends an entire chapter talking about writing the I love you, and how no I love you is the same. That to me is one of the best I love yous in cinematic history because of the stutter, because it's not one of those. He's not trying to just get it out there. The way he says it is just so perfect. And I don't care what else he does as an actor. He is always going to be Mr. Darcy to me. I don't care about the Three Musketeers. I don't care about Death at a Funeral. He is Mr. Darcy.
He is Mr. Darcy forever and for always.
He is Mr. Darcy. Little Dorrit, like none of his other work matters. I mean, he's great. Go Matthew McFadden. Great actor, but you're Mr. Darcy. That's who you are.
Absolutely.
That stutter, though, I love it. I'm so happy you mentioned that. Because that was what I was thinking of when I was reading the book, and I can't remember which one it was. Because, again, I've read a lot of them at this point talking about how to write romance novels. But when they were talking about that, I was picturing that scene in my head because it's just so special and unique.
Yeah, it made it more real. It's just like, because with either rom-coms or romance books, it's like everything is just put so perfect. The scene where they profess their love to each other is always so perfect, and that is just that scene where he stutters, like he stumbles over his words because he's so overcome. That is just so real. That's so real to me. That's something that Mr. Darcy would definitely do. And you're holding something. What are you holding to your face?
I'm holding out my little hearts. I heart it so much.
I heart it so much. Ooh, Ash, good night. Good night. Loving all the ships, yes. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by.
So sweet.
And so those are all the books ones, so I can move on to TV. I have a lot more TV ones than I do books and movies, but so if we want to move on to movies, we can totally do that.
Whatever makes you happy, lovely. I'm going to hold this up now. Whenever I ship something, we're just going to go, wow.
That is awesome.
Wish.
Where did you even get that? I love it.
So I was trying to figure out a way to put it on my bookcase. I've had this for a very long time, but it doesn't fit because it's too big. Because I wanted to talk about romance novels and have this in the background, so I bought it on Amazon, but it doesn't fit, and it makes me very sad. But now I finally have a use for it, because right now it's just been on my bureau. And then I moved over to my kitchen countertop. Now it's mine.
You're like, now it's in my hand, and I'm going to put it up every time I ship something.
I know. Now it finally has a purpose other than purely decorative.
So, do you have any movie-related ships, Angela?
So this one could go on forever, but you just reminded me of the love to hate. So I'm going to go with You've Got Mail. So basically anything Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan ever did together. I'm just going to ship it.
Oh my God, You Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle. Oh my gosh.
I ship it.
I ship it so much. Again, movies that I haven't seen in forever, but we need to. I think I'm seeing the next couple of movies in the Who Picked This Movie for Romantics at Heart.
I love and you also just remind me Ever After. Anything Drew Barrymore was in the 90s. Never Been Kissed. I love Never Been Kissed as well. That's also one of my faves.
Yes. It's like I've told my heart in. I love Never Been Kissed so much, and I cannot wait until we watch Ever After because I love that movie. I probably when I was in high school, I watched that movie once a week.
I really, there's just something about that movie. I've been watching it since it came out, and I was really little when it came out. I forget what year it came out. I think it was 98 or 99. Or 98 or 99. I think that was when, yeah.
That sounds right. I mean, I can look it up.
So, I mean, I've been watching that for a very long time. So, I mean, I've seen that movie at least 2 or 3 times a year since it's come out, at least. I mean, I know the dialogue. I remember one time I was joking around saying, you've got to, you know, who could love a pebble in their shoe? And I was saying, oh, maybe that should be my yearbook quote. And they were going, leave Ever After off the table. That is not your yearbook quote.
It's not your yearbook.
I mean, it was
a come out in 98, by the way. You're right.
Yeah. See, I know this movie.
Hannah, books and other things.
So was Never Been Kissed 99?
Oh, I can look that up too. Yeah, hold on.
They were back to back. So one of them I knew. I love that movie. Both of them are great. Just anything to
Never Been Kissed 99. You're right. Look at you on point all night.
I know my Lord of the Rings trivia. I know my Drew Barrymore movies.
Hannah, books and other things. Oh my God, Ever After and Never Been Kissed are classics. Yes. So hopefully you tune in next month when we do our Who Picked This Movie for the Romantics at Heart, because we are watching Ever After.
I know we were trying to figure out, like, do we do a separate Twitter, separate thing for this movie? But I don't know. It might just be easier with the same platform. But yes, Nicole is leading us in movie watching. We just did the 10 Things I Hate About You, and I got to cry when she's reading the poem because I get all emotional.
I cry every time I see that scene.
Every time, right? Every time. Same thing in Ever After when she's being sold. I get all upset. Every time. It doesn't matter how many times I've seen the movie. The same thing in Never Been Kissed when she's at the prom. I get all upset every time.
When she's reading her poem and her voice breaks and she starts crying, it's right there. I'm just like, oh
yes, April's quote. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Oh my gosh. I love that movie.
Oh, April. If I wasn't Fox Books and you weren't Shop Around the Corner, I would ask you to go for a coffee or a movie for As Long as We Both Shall Live. Yes. So sweet.
I ship it.
I ship
it so hard.
Where are your hearts? You ship it.
I give them a fleet of ships. I love that movie so much. I love it. I give them a fleet.
Like, seriously, a fleet of big cruise ships. Hannah, oh crap, I gotta go. I know, I just got here. Hello, my daughter woke up. I'll see y'all later. Bye, Hannah.
Hey, Hannah, good luck with your daughter.
Just woke up. One of mine, and it's just fresh in my brain because Angela knows why, and we were talking about it before we went live, is Kylo Ren and Rey from the new Star Wars movies. I love them so much, and my Pinterest is bombarded with them and fan fiction of them, and I'm currently writing a fan fiction for them because I really didn't like how The Last Jedi ended, and I am rewriting it, so it fits my preferences.
I love that. You're like, I don't like how they did it, so I'm going to do my own version.
And I think that's, like you said, that's just like the freedom of, fan fiction. You get to, whatever you don't like, you can just change.
I think fan fiction is this beautiful thing. I really do. I love Fangirl, the book by Rainbow Rowell. I know some people say Rowell, however you want to say your last name. I love that book because it's validating the fandom community in a very real way. And so not only is it a great book, but there's that, really nice undertone and component to it as well. I think it's a great book. I think the fandom, what they offer, I think that's just so beautiful. The modern day and age, we get the platforms to, be creative and do things however you like.
Yeah, I love it too because honestly, when I found out that fan fiction existed, it was like, oh, all my people who ship all the things that I ship that aren't necessarily canon, but you want it to be.
I know. See, that's the other thing too. This is my own personal thing because there are a lot of times I'll be watching a movie or a show and I get upset almost because the person, the two people I think who should be together aren't together, and the writers do something different, and the actors maybe they don't have the same on-screen chemistry or whatever, and they don't end up together, but I want them to. I get to just type it in. People already agree with me. They're already shipping them with someone else going, and I'm going, yes, this is exactly it. Because it does. It validates your own experience, your own viewing preferences, just because you're not alone. And there's something kind of beautiful about creative control not just being in the hands of the creator. I don't want to get all death of the author, theoretical, on you here, but there's something really great about, being able to interpret.
No, I 1,000% agree with you, because it's wonderful. I love it that you could just the fact that we feel so much for these characters. It's nice to have like some catharsis, to get it out. And when people validate and agree with you, it's like, oh yeah, thank you.
I think the validation is something for me, because I'll watch something and I'm going, does anyone else think this is strange? Or was anyone else hoping for this? And when someone else is, I'm going, okay, I'm not alone. It's not just me.
Right. April is saying, I really like Kylo Ren and Rey together too. I didn't think I would. I feel like there's some serious sexual tension between them. Yes, because I've gone over this a million times. Just the fight scene at the end of The Last Jedi where they're fighting together against the Praetorian Guards. I'm sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But that scene is fantastic.
I love the way I've gone over it a million times. I was trying so hard not to spit my water out. The way you said it was great. It was perfect.
And also the scene in a spoiler alert, again, I'm so sorry. The scene in The Last Jedi where they're reaching for each other and their hands touch, that scene had so much sexual tension in it. And honestly, even the director said that is as close to a sex scene as we will get in a Star Wars movie. So I'm just like, it's canon. I believe it. It's going to be real.
It's canon now. He said this, therefore it's real.
It's real. I love it. I love it so much. I love them together.
I mean, my biggest thing with the Star Wars is the Han Solo.
My dogs are barking.
Leia. What?
My dogs are barking. Sorry.
I mean, I get this thunderstorm going up by my window. The dog is scratching at things randomly. He jumped off my lap about 20 minutes ago, and now he's just wandering. I'm surprised you don't hear him or the thunder.
I don't hear the thunder.
You have nothing to apologize for or worry about. Okay. You're perfect.
You're perfect.
Let's see. Friends.
Best friends. What were you saying before I interrupted? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, I think you were just going to say Han Solo and Princess Leia because they were kind of divorced or separated. I was really upset about that. I don't know. That bothered me.
That bothered me too.
I wanted them to have their happily ever after, and then they have that, then he goes crazy. They have, a weird child. They're separated. Their lives are not happily ever after.
Yeah, that was weird to me. I was like, I think that was one of the reasons why I didn't really like The Force Awakens so much, because their relationship, like not just between Leia and Han, but also Luke and Leia and Luke and Han, and like everybody's relationship was estranged, and I'm just like, that's not how we ended the last.
That bothered me. Something about that. I don't want to say it was cringeworthy, but there was something about that just didn't quite sit right with me.
I agree, 1,000%.
This is why we get along.
Any more movie ships you have there, my lady?
I mean, I didn't even want to make a list because I figured we would just start going down tangents and rabbit holes and stuff because I knew there were just so many to potentially talk about. Honestly, I mean, we could talk about whatever you wanted for this. I was watching Avatar. I was like, hey, because I took a screenshot of that because now that's technically classified as a romance, so that was weird. According to HBO, they got Avatar and it was like, the romance between. That was how they started the sentence. And I thought that was hysterical.
I ship it.
Yeah, I know. Anything. I wrote down, I was gonna throw out because I wasn't sure if you'd seen Gilmore Girls. I wasn't sure if we've had this discussion.
I've seen Gilmore Girls. I wasn't I mean, I've seen episodes here and there. I have not ever sit down and watch start to finish Gilmore Girls, which I need to. It's a thing that I need to do. I realize this about myself, but I haven't yet.
So I know this is television. Apparently I made the transition. But television, because it's a TV show, I was just looking down at my notes. I wrote down Gilmore Girls because I know everyone has their own little camp. They're either for Jess, for Dean, or for Logan. Everyone has their little camp that they belong in.
I'm aware of that. And honestly, I think I'm just Dean because of Jared Padalecki.
I was gonna say this leads into the supernatural conversation. This actually dovetails quite nicely.
Yes, it does. Because yeah, I'm all for, and I even have some supernatural ships on here too. So.
I know there's someone with Castiel. I think I've seen the first 10 seasons. I'm behind. I know.
If you've seen the first 10 seasons, you're fine. I've only seen the first 10. I'm so behind.
Well, I remember this was when I was having trouble with my back, and so I was having trouble walking, and so again, I was binging stuff. I just was taking breaks, watching shows and reading books and everything, and that was one of the shows I was watching when I was, not feeling well. And it made me laugh. I mean, there was one episode where Sam was stuck in this weird time warp where he kept living the same day over and over again, which I just thought was hysterical. The angel Castiel there is just off his rocker, crazy. I love him. He's like crazy in the best of ways because he's just so sweet. You just kind of want to like put him in a warm little blanket and give him tea. I can't that's all I want to do to just give him tea. I can't explain it.
Yeah, it's those boys. Seriously, I just want to cocoon them and just protect them from the world. April is saying Jess. Maras is saying I ship her with Logan, but that's because I started watching that season, April, but mostly because in the reboot he was great. I haven't seen the reboot. I'm sorry. I failed everybody.
Well, I mean, I didn't read The Throne of Glass, but honestly, the reboot, I don't know if I'm in the minority camp, but I was not a fan of the reboot in any way, shape, or form. I was not a happy camper watching that reboot.
I know a lot. Some people have said the same thing. So you're not really in a minority, but yeah, I
looked it up a couple weeks ago, the ratings, because I wrote down Gilmore Girls, and I had actually just tried to rewatch some stuff, so it was on my mind, and people gave it really high ratings, and I was actually rather confused by that because I kind of realized the people who were probably giving it high ratings were not necessarily fans, but critics. Because from a critical standpoint, it was well done production, the acting, very talented, cast. Every one of them, I give them gold stars. They're great. I don't even know. I mean, they never won the Emmys, but they should have, or at least been nominated or something. But I mean, from a critical standpoint, great show. From a fan standpoint, when you're used to the characters and you had certain expectations. Not so much, because you expect Rory to be this successful journalist, and then she's floundering around. She doesn't even have a home. She's kind of homeless. She's just staying with random people, and you're making a face, which I think is great. But she's just she didn't fail, but she didn't actually assert herself. And then when she does have a job interview, she doesn't really take it seriously. And I just didn't understand the characterizations. I mean, if you just look at it as its own little kind of entity, it's great, It's great, but if you look at it from a fan point, when you're used to these characters, not so much.
April and Maras are agreeing with you. The reboot wasn't great. April said I could go on with my problems, but spoilers. Maras is saying Milo Ventimiglia is love.
He was the best part of that reboot to me. Yes. Oh my gosh. This Is Us. Oh my god.
Oh, okay. I love This Is Us, but I'm not caught up. So I'm just like, ah.
So I was kind of not behind, but the first episode had aired, and I didn't watch it as it aired. And then I forget if it was school or whatever. I was busy, so I missed the first 3, and then I binged, and I was all caught up. And everyone had been talking, saying, "Oh, the show will make you cry. The show will make you cry." And I'm going, "Yeah, sure it will." Just kind of saying, "Yeah, whatever." And then I didn't believe them. Nope. Tears every episode, right on cue. Every episode makes me cry. People are not exaggerating when it comes to that show at all.
Seriously, I didn't watch it live either. I think I watched it like next day, Hulu or something. And I just remember that first episode, when the big reveal happened, and how I literally had to pick my jaw up off the floor when the reveal happened. I'm like, holy, you know, like I had no idea. And I was like, and I love Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore is just, she's in here.
Well, oh my gosh, we had to talk about A Walk to Remember. We didn't talk about that movie.
Well, it's on my list. We jumped to TV shows.
We can go back to movies because you know I love Landon and Jamie because I remember that came out when I was in either 3rd or 4th grade and I needed to go see it at the theaters. I needed to go see this. I don't know why. I was a little elementary schooler who needed to go see a Nicholas Sparks movie, and I did, and I've seen it every year since. It's one of those movies I just love it.
Whenever it's on TV, I need to watch it. I have probably 2 separate like DVD copies. I don't know why I do, but yeah, Jamie and Landon. And I think that's where my love for Shane West happened, because he is gorgeous. I love him so much. But yeah, I mean, because I remember, because I've read every Nicholas Sparks book, and I liked A Walk to Remember. Obviously, I like a lot of his books, but that book didn't resonate with me like The Notebook did or other books of his did. But then when I saw the movie, I'm like, huh, all right. I loved it. I probably have watched it thousands of times, and I love Mandy Moore. And in that movie, she is perfection.
I love that movie so much, and I remember, and I didn't read the book. Again, I was young when I saw the movie and it came out, and so I saw the movie and I didn't realize the book, it wasn't a contemporary setting, and it was kind of, it's set in the 50s, I think. But yeah. I love in the movie how they have that as kind of their show, the production they're doing, and she's singing. The singing is so great. I love the songs.
Funny story, not really funny, but the song "Only Hope," that is mine and my husband's song.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wedding dance song?
Yeah.
That is epic.
I was like, oh, this has to be our song. It has to be.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. And I remember having the CD. I remember downloading it. I have the CD. I have the electronic version, so you can download it. I mean, I have that soundtrack, and I'm thinking I'm a fan. You just beat me.
I have that song that she's singing from the soundtrack. I also have the Switchfoot version as well, which they sing it fantastically too. And yeah, that is mine and my husband's song.
That was how I found out Switchfoot, like because of that movie. That's the only reason I knew about that band, was because of the movie.
That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the movie, because I love that band, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a Switchfoot song. Oh my gosh, this is a Switchfoot song. Like literally the last half of the movie, every song that comes out is a Switchfoot song.
I love the soundtrack. I mean, I used to play that sucker on a loop. I mean, again, I was I remember middle schooler, elementary schooler, just playing that thing on a loop. To this day, I think my dad thinks this is my favorite movie because he had to endure the love of A Walk to Remember when I was growing up. I love it.
April and Miraz are like, oh, that's so cute.
You really are adorable. You and your husband are every time #relationship goals. I mean, you two really are. It's just so cute.
I love my husband so much. He is my only hope.
Oh, and my heart just crumbled again.
You're like, I ship it.
I ship it hard.
But yeah, that movie is fantastic. And even though I love that movie, the only reason why I didn't watch, I didn't say to watch that for our Who Picked This Movie for Romantics at Heart, because it does not have an HEA. So I'm just like, oh.
Oh my goodness. Yes. This is what I'm talking about. Nicholas Sparks does not write romance genre. He writes fiction romance. Not romance genre romance. I
know, it's not romance, it's fiction romance. There's a difference, because literally half of his books do not have a happily ever after.
This is my go-to rant. If you watch my channel, if you check out my breakdown of the romance genre, I always have to mention him. I can't not mention him, because he confuses so many people.
He does. He's very confusing.
He does. It really is, because when they say, oh, he writes romance, fiction romance, not romance genre romance, there's a difference. Every time I start going off on my little academic, breakdown rant. Every time.
Every time.
Well, you just, so again, this is going to be this is a random aside going back to movie ships. Not Ever After, but A Cinderella Story. Chad Michael Murray and Hilary Duff, when they're in the gazebo with that song, I'll Be, I always thought that would be a great, dance song. You remind me of that.
I really love that scene. It's so, again, it's just so aesthetically pleasing. It's so beautifully shot. I love it.
Well, you reminded me because she's wearing a wedding dress as her Halloween costume, and so when you're talking about first dance, my mind did those little connect the nodes. Yes. I ended up thinking of A Cinderella Story. But, I mean, I love how, he's so sweet with her in the gazebo. He holds his hands, he's twirling her. It's just so cute. You reminded me of that. Because now I'm picturing you and your husband as that, because you were high school sweethearts. That's how I'm picturing you.
Yeah, we were high school sweethearts. That scene, gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I ship it.
I ship it. I have a couple of other movie ships if we want to continue to the movies.
Go back to movies.
Okay. Don't have to tell me twice. So the movie Becoming Jane, Jane Austen and Tom Lefroy.
You ship them, or you're mad about them?
I do. I ship them a lot, and I'm mad.
I was going to say, where are we going with this? We need to clarify where this conversation was going, because yes, we want that to happen, and it doesn't.
And it doesn't, which is, I'm mad at history because it doesn't happen. I mean, but Anne Hathaway and James McAvoy, perfection. I loved it 100%.
She's always Mia Thermopolis to me. I don't care if she wins another Oscar. She's Mia Thermopolis.
She didn't pull you for Jane Austen, huh?
No, I mean, again, I love her as an actress. She's very talented. I mean, sometimes when she's interviewing, I'm not really sure. There was a quote one time that's really stayed with me, and I don't know why. This is ridiculous. She was doing a print interview, and they asked her how she didn't get poisoned, and she goes, "Well, I eat last." I'm like, this is the weirdest interview of all time, and what do you mean you eat last? It was just a very weird interview, and so I don't know. Anyway,
how she didn't get poisoned? What?
It was so strange. She's saying how I eat last when we film. I wasn't, and I'm thinking when I first read the quote, because that was the poll quote, I'm thinking, oh, that's so sweet. She's letting everyone else eat before she takes hers. I'm thinking, oh, she's so sweet and selfless. And she goes, I'm avoiding getting poisoned. And I just went, what is this interview? And so,
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure she's a lovely human being. She reminds me of Audrey Hepburn a little bit. But yeah, I just always think of her as Mia Thermopolis. Can't help it.
Well, it definitely is. She's one of those actors who just, you see them in that role, and it's just, that's them. That is Mia Thermopolis. But Becoming Jane, I watch when I want to cry. Because not only for Jane and Tom's relationship, but also her sister and how she loses her husband. And I'm just like, that scene when they're all together, it's her sister and their mom in the one room, and she's like pacing and she's just sobbing because she lost her husband. Yeah, that kills me. That kills me every single time.
I think I'll be honest, again, I love my Happily Ever Afters. I think I've only seen that movie once or twice because I don't like the not Happily Ever After. It makes me so sad. I mean, that is a cry movie. That is a tearjerker.
It is. You watch it when you want to cry, but I love their chemistry together. I love it.
Oh, no. I mean, it's a great movie. And I mean, if it had a Happily Ever After and, history was different, I'd probably have watched it a million times by now.
Yeah.
Alas, that is not the case.
That is not the case.
Well, no, because again, if I want to have, entertainment can have that escapism, fantasy, wish fulfillment, whatever. And so I watch mostly because I want to, be entertained. I want to have fun. School's not always great. Whatever. I want to, I want to laugh. I don't want to be crying. And so that's a cry movie. And so I avoid that a little bit.
Oh, only when you want to cry. Yeah.
I'd want to cry though.
Sometimes I get the feeling like I kind of want to cry. I kind of want to watch this. Another movie. What?
I was like, I'm adjusting the laptop because I'm sinking down in my chair.
Another movie ship that I have. It's from The Hobbit Trilogy.
Oh boy, where are we going with this?
I want to see if you can guess.
I can't remember her name, but the actress Evangeline Lilly, there was that weird love triangle that had no purpose in that movie.
Yeah, I ship her with Killy.
I do too.
Killy and Tariel. It's Tariel. Her name is Tariel.
Yes, I wanted her with the dwarf. She's like, well, he's tall for a dwarf. It was so cute when she said that. I wanted the weird Legolas love triangle. That no.
But honestly, when I saw that the movie was coming out and then they introduced this character that wasn't in the books, but I saw that it was Evangeline Lilly, I was like, I love Evangeline Lilly. She's fantastic. So I'm like, I'm gonna give this a shot. And then they did the weird love triangle between her, Legolas, and Killy, and I'm just like, I love Aiden Turner. And so I'm just like, he's gonna win. Sorry. Because I love him so much. But yeah, Tariel and Killy, I love them.
I went on fanfiction.net to find fanfiction of them because I was upset when he died.
Spoiler. God, I did too. Spoiler alert.
I was so angry. I'm so sorry. I was so angry. Okay, cat's out of the bag with that one.
Cat is out of the bag.
He dies in the third one, and she's crying over his dead body. And, you know, Lord Elf there, Legolas's dad, comes over and he goes, "You're crying because it was real." And I'm going, yeah, duh. How is this even a question? Well, I mean, I was so upset, and he was, there was no happily ever after. So I went on fanfic.net and I was reading every single one of the fanfictions that people posted. I was an unhappy viewer.
She's like, if this is love, I don't want it. I'm like, no. Oh, I did the exact same thing. I went on fanfiction. I'm just like, I need them to be together.
Because she's not in the book. And so I had no idea what was going to happen. And that is the other thing, too. When you read the books, you can take a sort of comfort if you know the characters, if you know the ending. And because she wasn't in the book, I did not have that comfort. So when the battle started to occur and all these things are happening and all of a sudden he appears, I'm going, you're not going to do what I think you're going to do. And then they did.
And then they did.
And then they did. Oh, Peter Jackson.
Yeah, I just usually I'm not okay when they, if I've read the book and there's a film adaptation, when they add stuff, I'm not okay with that. But I love Tariel. She was fantastic. Well,
I mean, I understand the need for her because there's such a lack of female representation in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
That's again, this is why I have reservations about the television show. I mean, you're going to have a predominantly white male cast. That is your TV show. And so, the representation of women and people of different backgrounds is going to be minimal. So I'm really curious how Amazon is going to, I don't maneuver, try and, update, adapt. But yeah, the female representation in Lord of the Rings is always questionable. And so it was great to see a powerful female elf. I loved that. And I love that she, could hold her own next to Legolas, who's, this epic warrior. I mean, he finally got hit in the face and actually, there was blood for the first time.
Yes.
That was something unto itself because usually he's just, avoiding every single punch, arrow. I don't know how he's that magical. I mean, he takes down that monster of an, thing in the Two Towers. So I loved her. I thought that was a great idea, but then that weird love triangle happened. Didn't quite like that, and then they didn't end up together. They didn't even make it worth it. If you're gonna do a love triangle, there needs to be a payoff.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you don't even know like what happened to her afterwards.
No, because she's not in the other one.
She kind of just went off and did her thing.
Well, there was one fanfic where they somehow brought him back to life, and then they did have their own adventures. And I was going, hey, I like this fanfic. I don't remember who did it and when or what the title was, but I thought that was kind of fun because she did have her story continue. Because if they didn't continue it on fanfic, then nobody wouldn't be there. It wouldn't exist.
Exactly. Kind of just ends abruptly for her.
Yeah, it's because she realized she was in love, and that realization apparently is just everything. That's her life. That's the culmination.
So we can go back to TV shows now if you want, because that's all I have for movies.
Well, I know one that we both ship. I know one that we've talked about, and we already talked about Josh Whedon. So there's a
Go
very
ahead.
popular television show with a vampire slayer whom I love. I did an academic project on this when I was doing my master's. I spent 2 years with Buffy, and I love her. And so Buffy and Spike.
Absolutely. And I'm dancing over here because yeah, I totally agree. I ship her to the ends of the earth with Spike. Are there any are there any Buffy Angel shippers out there?
I mean, I honestly, when I was younger, because again, Buffy ended when I was young, kind of putting this in perspective. Buffy ended when I first started watching it when I was in 6th grade or something. So it was ending. I didn't get to see it as it was airing, and I had the VHS tapes instead of the DVDs. And then I had the DVDs, and I was so excited, and all the extras and bonus features, which was great. And then I ended up rewatching it on Netflix, over and over again. I've seen every episode probably 10 or 12 times. It's ridiculous. I love that show so much. But when I was younger, again, when I was first watching, I'm going, oh, her and Angel are so sweet. But as I was older, I started realizing, no, I really like her with Spike. They belong together. Wait a second. I changed my mind. I evolved.
Buffy ended in 2003, and this was the first show that I actually watched religiously. I was in front of my TV every Wednesday night watching it, and if I wasn't able to be there, my dad recorded it on VHS tape.
Yep.
So I could watch it later. Because there was no such thing as TV, like TiVo and Hulu things back then. So I shipped Buffy and Angel for a millisecond in the Angel. It's season 1 of Angel where she comes back and he's turned mortal. And then so they kind of have this one perfect normal day of when, he is human. And
but that was on his show. It wasn't even on Buffy.
It was on Angel. Yeah, exactly. And so unfortunately, they realized too late that he can't stay mortal, unfortunately. He has to continue the good fight, so he has the fates turn back time, and she forgets everything, but he doesn't. And that episode, David Boreanaz and Sarah Michelle Gellar, their chemistry, their acting, phenomenal. I loved it so much. And that was the only time that I shipped Buffy and Angel. The rest of the time I shipped Buffy and Spike because reasons. I really love Spike because he loved her when he didn't have a soul. He loved her. And I always thought Spike was kind of like a different sort of vampire because Drusilla, Angel, when he didn't have his soul, when you're a vampire and when you don't have a soul, you basically all you feel is hate. You want to destroy everything. And I think Spike, he was so different because he did feel love. He did feel those different emotions, and he felt them for Buffy, even when he didn't have a soul. And I just thought that was really, really wonderful.
I mean, I think you're kind of hitting the nail on the head there because not only did he love Drusilla, but he fought for his soul. And I remember when him and Angel were kind of butting heads when he, joined the Angel cast later, and they were talking about who the chosen vampire was. And he says, hey, I fought for my soul. And that always stayed with me. That it was kind of a throwaway line, but I kind of always stayed with me going, yeah, you did fight for your soul. You did. And you fought because she inspired you. And I thought that kind of gave their love a purity. And I love Spike.
Absolutely. I feel like Angel's soul was put on him because as a punishment, because he was so evil, and the gypsies put his soul back in him because they wanted him to feel guilt and remorse for the rest of his life. And so it was a punishment. Spike went and got his soul because he wanted to be a better person for Buffy. And that just makes, like you said, it gives it a purity. And I loved it. It was so great. And April, she's like, I've never seen Buffy hangs head in shame. You need to watch it. On those slow days at Tatum, you need to watch it.
I mean, there's something about their chemistry as well, because again, maybe this is the whole enemies to lovers trope rearing its ugly head again, but it evolves. I mean, yeah, in season And I also, again, with Spike versus Angel, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent. Not finishing that thought entirely. He made the joke, you know, your world is Happy Meals with legs. I don't want to end the world. Angel wanted to end the world. So Spike was never quite at the level of Angelus there. But, you know, in season 2, they're enemies. You know, season 3, he comes back. He wants her help, you know, trying to get over Drusilla. I mean, they have these, you know, kind of moments of friendship, of hate. They just evolved. I mean, it was just so great. It was so great. And then
I really love how their relationship.
I know you didn't watch this. I know you didn't watch it, so I'm trying so hard not to spoiler. But the ending.
Oh gosh, the ending. Ugh.
Just when you think you're gonna get your payoff as the viewer, and your two characters are going to declare their love, it falls through your fingers.
You're like, And even the comic books, as I've read the official season 8 comic books that, you know, Joss Whedon put out by Dark Horse Comics, it didn't really go how I thought it was going to go. And, you know, it's just, I'm sorry you don't get the payoff even in the comic books, but no. It's very sad.
No, the comic books, I didn't last too long with comic books. I mean, first of all, I'm not really a comic book reader. If you are, that's totally great. But for some reason, I just never became a comic book reader. I've read some of the big ones, Funhouse, things like that. Watchmen, you know, everyone would talk about Watchmen. If you study English literature, that's on the must, you know, read list. But I was never a big comic book fan. And then I tried with Buffy because it was Buffy. And I mean, just, it never quite got back on track for me. I mean, I couldn't stay with it. And then they did that, they had an abortion storyline. I'm throwing that out there. Buffy, you know, she wanted to get an abortion. And I was thinking, is this Spike's baby? Whose baby is this?
Whose baby is this?
You don't remember this? Did you read
No,
this?
yeah, I do. But I'm just like, when you're just like, what is happening?
I mean, he was there for her, comforting her. And even in that moment, I loved them. And I was mad it wasn't his baby. I mean, it was a traumatic moment and everything. But I mean, and, you know, they never quite get back to the romance. He becomes her kind of confidant friend, which is amazing and great, and still shows the connection between them. You know, right. He's the guy who's just always there for her, even when she's down, and no matter how bad it gets, he's the guy, you know, he's there for her, and that never seems to lift the relationship higher.
Yeah, which that's one of the things that, you know, obviously there's chemistry, and like you said, like he is like her confidant because she goes to him when she can't go to anybody else, and you would think that would kind of make it click for her, but she never does. So it's like you never got that, you know, the happily ever after that you're looking for. It wasn't really satisfying for me. Oh yeah, Maras is asking you a question. Why do you need to study Watchmen? Asking out of curiosity.
It was one of those pieces of literature that, you know, there are always going to be stories that really just jump out and people will reference. And a lot of times it has to do with the age, because I think that was the AIDS epidemic, or when that was kind of a thing. And so Watchmen integrated a lot of these, you know, societal themes into the narrative. And it's really bloody, and it took things to a different level. And so Watchmen is one of those pieces that, you know, people will reference. So if you want to be kind of aware of certain things, you just have to read it. I mean, don't go to the movie. We're talking about the comics. It's a different, very different.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie at all.
Yeah, we're not talking about the movie, but it's just one of those pieces where it's so impactful in certain ways because it won a lot of awards. I mean, there's certain things that I think get referenced in, you know, academic settings if you're having certain conversations, and that's one of them. It just comes up. I mean, it was a book, Scott McCloud. He was talking about comic books, and so people will talk about comic books and why they're so important and what they offer that other mediums don't. And so you kind of read Scott McCloud, and then you go read Watchmen, and you're going, oh my gosh, they really did do something different. I mean, there are a lot of things to, you know, and I'm totally just going on a total. No, I mean, I'm not a comic book reader, but that's one of those ones that was referenced, and I wanted to understand what my professors were talking about, so I read it.
Yeah, I didn't really like the movie, but I actually haven't read the comic book in a very long time, so it's probably one of those things that I'm going to reread very soon.
Well, it's one of those pieces where people will reference it as though it's not necessarily a comic book, but just a piece of literature that transcends its medium as well, which is also, really interesting from multiple perspectives, and how they refer to it as a text and things like that. The way it's interpreted is just, it's fascinating to me.
Well, there's that difference between comic books and graphic novels as well, and I think, yeah, that's definitely in the graphic novel category.
The other one is Mouse. That one, I don't know if you've ever read that one. That was, I don't think it was written by an American. Maybe I was wrong. I forget the author, but Mouse, it has to do with the representation of World War II. That's one of the, most phenomenal. I mean, that is a phenomenal piece of literature as a text.
Wow.
Reading Mouse, it will make you cry. It will rip your heart out because it's just.
I'll need to look that up because I haven't.
It's written as MAUS, so it looks like because of the whole German mouse. So. Again, my English side is rearing its ugly head, going, yeah, read this. That's not a happily ever after, though.
So you need to be in a certain mood if you want to read it. Don't be expecting a happily ever after.
It's dealing with World War II. It's very, very heavy topic matter there.
Everything that I read that has to deal with World War II is not a happily ever after.
And this just took a turn.
I know.
This just took a turn.
But if we want to get back to the happy shit, okay, I have a bunch. I watch a ton of TV shows. So one thing that I definitely is kind of like book related is Sookie and Eric from True Blood.
You ship them or you don't ship them?
I ship the crap out of them.
This is for me where the books and the television show are separate.
They're totally separate. That's why I put this in the TV category, not the books category.
Honestly, I mean, because I think I saw the television show before I read the books, even though I love Charlene Harris and I think she was a genius. She's my Aurora Teagarden woman,
Yes.
One of my faves for cozies. I think I saw the TV show, and then because I saw the show, it was probably the first season. I'm going, I gotta go read the books, and then I had to stop reading the books and then go watch the TV show because they didn't match up at all. For most of the books, spoiler alert, she's married to Eric. They're married, like they're an item.
Yeah.
Even though that's not real. I mean, that never happens on the show.
No, yeah. I think from season.
I just saw the comment
from Moraz. Yeah, I ship myself with Eric Northern. Girl, same. And April's like, yes, Sookie and Eric. Moraz is like, I didn't read the book. Honestly, you don't have to. I mean, I wouldn't, because books 9 through about 13, I just kind of want to throw in the trash.
I mean, I started skimming because I think because I kind of had expectations because of the TV show, and then the books were so different, my mind couldn't compartmentalize them because I just couldn't reach that level for some reason. So I just watched. I think the TV show does a brilliant job. No, I think you guys are hysterical and awesome. I mean, I kind of want to ship her with Bill so you guys can have Eric. I love it. And then me and Mr. Darcy will go walk across the moors. It's on.
I just think that it was really cute that Anna Paquin and Stephen Moyer are together in real life, and they have, beautiful children, and I just think that's really cute. But yeah, Sookie and Eric, they belong together. I love them so much, even though that's not how that ended, even in the TV show. Spoiler alert, sorry. But
we should have a spoiler alert warning when we do these things, shouldn't we?
I know. Spoiler alert. Honestly, Alexander Skarsgård is just, fantastic.
I mean, I think it was, there was that moment with the TV show. I forget how long the arc lasted, but he lost his memory for a time, and he did get together with Sookie, and I was loving that side of the character. I just thought, this is great. I loved him. And then
it was just season 4.
I love how you know that right off the top of your head.
Because that is my favorite book, and the season in the TV show. That's my favorite.
I love that was my favorite. That's why I was mentioning it because it was so different. It showed this new side of his character, and he was so lovable, and you just wanted to hug him.
We are the same person. It's not even funny anymore, Angela. We are the same person.
I love how I'm saying what you had written down. I mean, yeah. This is why we're friends.
Morass is saying same. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, season 4, when he loses his memory and oh,
I love the emoji.
I know, just that sweetness and innocence. I just want to wrap him up in a little blanket. And I'm like, you little cinnamon roll, you're so sweet. But he still has that rugged Viking hardness to him. And I just love it. Pun intended. Hardness.
I just got that. Oh my god, I can't believe you said that. That was funny.
Sorry, woo. I'm like getting like.
She did wrap him in a blanket because he was going to burn to death. He was out there playing with the alligators in the swamp of Louisiana.
I love that scene so much. I love that scene. I love it. He's so funny.
She had to go get Wolfman to go track his scent.
She's like, Alcide, stop making that noise. Like, because he's growling at him. Oh, it's so funny. Makes me want to watch that season all over again.
And, well, because, I mean, everyone here seems to have already watched it. He's off selling True Blood. He's more selling, you know, the cure.
Mm-hmm.
He's the businessman. He didn't get his happily ever after. He's just making millions, which might be his happily ever after. We don't know. So you can go be shipped with Eric. You guys who are single.
I didn't like how that ended. Like, they totally made her, like, together with some random person. You don't even get to see his face. And, yeah, she's pregnant and everything. I'm just like, ugh. And you want to know who she ends up with in the books? For everybody who's read the books. Did you finish?
I forget off the top of my head because I couldn't. Oh, hi, puppy. Because I couldn't really enjoy them the same. I forget. Who does she?
You want me to spoil it for you? She gets together with Sam Merlat.
That's that's what I thought. I didn't want to say that though. I was like, I kind of thought it. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Didn't like how that ended. Mm-mm.
Well, on the show, I mean, he loved. They had that storyline kind of in place, but then the girlfriend was pregnant. And I didn't know if he felt obligated or he loved her.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I wasn't really sure about that because he cited that as the reason. He didn't say I love her. He said he said she's pregnant. He didn't say he loved her though.
Right.
Did we catch that? Did we notice that? Because that bothered me.
I did notice that, and I'm just like, okay, well.
I forgot all about that in the books. I mean, I think I blocked it out.
Like I said, I blocked out books 9 through 13.
Yeah, that's why I had that moment. You know, sometimes I'll read a book and it just doesn't stay with me. And whether that's because I mentally just don't want to remember it and I just block it, or it just wasn't memorable, I don't know. I totally forgot.
April's like, I feel like Sam is boring.
My favorite thing about Sam, and this is so stupid, was when the sheriff or the cop there saw him running naked. He's going, what is going on? And that had nothing to do with him. That was just the other guy. He was just watching him going. It's his facial reaction as an actor that I just loved. His reaction of, what am I witnessing right now?
My favorite Sam scene is it's not even Sam. It's
right?
it's when oh my god, I'm forgetting her name, but when she does the skin changing and she turns into Sam and she causes that distraction so she can walk out of the hospital, and then the sheriff is like, Sam, what are you doing in a hospital, Johnny? And she's like, why don't you mind your own goddamn business? And it's not even Sam. It's like, it's her pretending to be Sam, and I just think his acting in that scene was just so perfect.
Oh, I forgot all about that. I love the cop. I love the cop, the one
Andy Belfler.
I loved him. I thought he was hysterical. Love that guy. And then he had the random fairy children, which was a very strange storyline.
Yes.
Funny.
It was so weird. I think a lot of the storylines in True Blood are weird, but I was just like, I'm just gonna go with it and see where this happens. See where this takes us.
That the once the fairies, I don't know. It took a few turns, and the weird guy who she's pledged to marry. I don't.
Yeah. I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all. Not even when he was pretending to be good.
I love yeah. I mean, aside from her and Bill, who else would you ship from that show?
I'll see. Oh, besides from her and Bill, who would I ship Sookie with, or just ship in general?
Who would you ship?
I shipped her and Alcide for about 5 minutes. I think that's just because I love Joe Manganiello. He's gorgeous.
I was gonna say literally the only thing I know about him is that he's married to Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing I know about him. And the only reason I know that is because someone was having probably the longest conversation next to me in the dentist office one day talking about that. I was just sitting there waiting for my appointment, and they were running late, and they just kept talking. And at first I thought they were talking about their friends, the way they were talking. They talk about their celebrities like they know them. It wasn't until they started talking about True Blood, and then I took out my phone to Google this. At which point, because they're sitting right next to me talking about it. I mean, yeah, that's the only reason. That's the only reason I know. That's all I know about them. That's
funny. April says she loves Lafayette, and I love Lafayette and Jesus, and I thought they did Jesus dirty in that show. I really do. But yeah, Lafayette was a great character. Funny story, in the books, Lafayette is actually supposed to die at the end of book 1, but they kept him on in the show because fans loved him so much, which agree, because he is a great character.
I was going to say, I wholeheartedly agree with that creative decision.
Yes, absolutely. So,
he passed away. I forgot. Yeah.
Who did? Yeah. I know. Gosh, it was terrible.
I forget. I don't. Is this? I forget how he passed away. I just remember he passed away.
I just remember seeing that he passed away, but I have no idea how. I could probably look it up, but I don't want to cry.
And this again just took a turn.
I know. And I didn't even remember until you said that right now. I was like, oh yeah,
she posted the comment. And I love how I actually read that. Like, the one comment I read is the sad one.
I know. That's so sad. He was so great. He was so great as Lafayette. He was fantastic. Makes me sad. On to happier things.
Who else are you shipping? Who else is on this list?
I ship so many things. Okay, who do I want to talk about first? My Captain Swan. If anybody watches Once Upon a Time,
oh boy,
they know they know who Captain Swan is. Captain Hook and Emma Swan. Oh my gosh, I shipped them from the second they locked eyes. I love them so much. I think it's just because I love Colin O'Donoghue. He's gorgeous. You're making a face over there.
I'm waiting to see how long, because I know how you feel about this. It's so cute. And I agree with you. I just think it's so cute because we've had this discussion before.
Yes. I love them so much. Oh my gosh. I can just see, I watch Captain Swan scenes on YouTube all the time. Just their scenes. Like, I just want to filter out everything else and just watch them because they're wonderful. And I think it's just
best thing I've heard today. It's amazing.
And I think it's just because Jennifer Morrison and Colin O'Donoghue, again, these actors' chemistry, they're just so good. It's just, oh gosh, they're meant to be together. And I know Colin O'Donoghue is married and has a beautiful family, but seriously, Morass is asking if the show is canceled. It is. After season 7, canceled, because season 7 went off in a very weird way. We can all pretend like it just didn't exist because season 6, I think, ended just fine. But yeah, season 7, after season 7, it was canceled. So, but I love them so much.
I see. I was never. I mean, I think I watched the first season. I was because everyone was talking about it. It was the new big thing, and
Yeah.
I've always been interested in pop culture. So as soon as something is new and noteworthy, I try and watch it, and try and figure out why it's garnering attraction and stuff like that. And so I watched the first season, and then I lost interest. And I remember I was home visiting my parents. I forget why it was going on, but I was just at home, and my mom was watching the show, and she's going, "You got to see this. You just got to watch this because it was them." It was them. She was shipping them, and so I watched it, and I'm going, yeah, I get this. So then
Which episode was it?
Their scenes. What?
Which episode was it that you're?
I don't remember. I think he'd been on for a couple episodes. He was still a new character, but she knew right away that they belonged together, and so therefore I had to watch the show with her, and I learned they belonged together as well.
I love how their relationship progresses. I don't like how sometimes Emma like took a step back from their relationship because they would go, it was kind of like take one step forward, take two steps back kind of thing. Like she was like in such denial for a very long time. And I'm like, girl, you're getting on my nerves. Just accept it. Go on with your hot pirate. You'll be happy, So it's like, but yeah.
Towards a t-shirt, go on with your hot pirate.
That should be a t-shirt.
The swashbuckler. That's a trope in romance, the swashbuckling hero.
Yes.
He's a romance novel character.
He is, because he is. Oof. Fantastic. I can see him ripping bodices everywhere.
Does your husband know you feel this way?
Yes. Yes, he does. Maras is saying, I watched season 1 as well. Red Riding Hood was my favorite. What happened to her? Very unsatisfying ending with Red because she was very prominent in seasons like 1 through 3-ish, I want to say. And then she just made random appearances like every now and then. And it never really like says what happens. Oh, I just remembered. Her story kind of ends. She gets together with, should I spoil this for you, Maras? Let me know. Should I spoil you? Like, you're kind of asking what happened to her. I want to tell you. But I know it's like she disappears for like a season and then she miraculously comes back for one episode. And that's kind of like how through seasons about 4 through 7, she's like, yes, she's just sporadically in an episode here and there. But, Once Upon a Time takes on Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and that's how the Wicked Witch of the West comes in. She was one of the villains in a season, and so when Dorothy comes in, she somehow Red is somehow transported to Oz, and so she and Dorothy kind of have this relationship. And the last you kind of see from her is that her and Dorothy have this relationship. So that was kind of her happily ever after. I don't think you ever see her in season 7, but that's kind of how her story ends. So when Once Upon a Time meets, Wizard of Oz, her and Dorothy kind of have a thing.
Oh.
Hi, Max!
There's thunder, and so he wanted to be picked up and held, and now that the thunder has subsided, apparently I don't matter.
You're like, I was scared, but now it's over, so bye, Mom.
Yeah, there was thunder, and so he came up on my lap, and now the thunder has passed.
Maras is saying, thank you for that spoiler. You're welcome.
Oh, Rumpelstiltskin and Belle. Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin.
And Belle. That was the other one I remember.
Yeah, I really enjoyed their dynamic together, but Rumpelstiltskin, I have a problem with. I love him.
Problem? I was going to say, I'm sure there are many problems with that guy.
I mean, he makes you believe that he's the good guy, and he's like, oh, I've changed, and oh, I'm gonna, be the hero and the savior, and then he does you dirty. He does you so dirty, and he is very unreliable. That's how I feel.
Come on, we know you're down there. I mean, he can't decide if he wants me or not.
But yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I thought, honestly, towards the end, I felt like Belle deserved much better.
They end up together, right?
They do end up together, and they have a kid. Gideon. That's his
Did
name.
you just tweet, "We're still here"? Because I just got...
What?
You tweeted, "We're still here," favorite.
Yeah. Yes, I did. We're still here. Yes.
I was wondering why my phone vibrated, because I have you on a notification. That was funny. I was like, wait a second.
I tweeted that like, I don't know, 5-10
minutes ago.
Yeah. I was like, we're still here. Come check us out.
We're still here. We're still here.
But yeah, so I feel like I think I abandoned the Rumbell ship. Oh, it's just because he kept letting me down and I didn't want to be disappointed again. So I built a wall.
Yeah, again, I didn't really last too long with the show. I was a sporadic viewer. I wasn't a diehard, dedicated, every episode viewer. So I have enough knowledge of it, but I wasn't invested. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like after season 6, that show kind of just fell off. Kind of took a weird turn, and they were just trying to revive it because so many of the main cast members didn't renew their contracts. And so they tried to resuscitate it, but it wasn't happening. So I would feel like, season 7 just didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
But
as soon as they moved it to Friday, for those of you who don't know television or haven't studied television,
Friday is like the worst day.
That's a bad sign.
No one watches Friday television because they're out doing their own thing.
If you have a show on Friday or Saturday, that's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
The Holy Grail is Thursday. Thursday is the night that you'd like. If you have a television show, you want it to be a Thursday show. That is the goal, if not for Sunday. It's, Thursday has the best in regards to marketing. That's the high price. If you're marketing on a Thursday night, you have some money to pay for those ads.
Yeah.
So your goal is Thursday or Sunday. And not move from Sunday. It was downhill.
Yeah, it was on Sundays, seasons 1 through 6, and then season 7 it went to Friday. And I honestly, that's mine and my husband's date night, so I don't watch anything that's on Friday night. I usually save that for if I watch anything Friday night. I catching it on Hulu or like those day after programs on the app or whatever. But yeah, I just
saw the Grey's Anatomy. This is why I think Shonda Rhimes is utterly amazing. And I just love the ground she walks on. Like, she is phenomenal to me. I love her. She took over Thursday nights for ABC. That is just mind-boggling. It's so impressive to have her night be Thursday nights. I mean, give her all of the awards. Give her all of the credit. That is just amazing. Not only did she have successful shows, not only did they garner, all sorts of critical reception and everything else, great actors with longevity, talent, but it's Thursday night. She got the Holy Grail television blockade. Bow down to the queen. Bow down to her. Love that. Seriously, idolize her. I love her. Oh, tangent. I ship her for just anything she does.
You ship her, just her.
I just ship her.
Her and Thursday nights.
Shonda Land, I'd ship it.
You ship her and Thursday nights.
I ship her. I don't care what she does. I will tune in. Now Netflix has she's moving over to Netflix. Her contract with ABC lapsed, and Netflix picked her up. And so now I'm just going, what is Chandra going to do at Netflix? I'm just kind of, biting at the bit to see what happens. I'm so excited to see, now she has all sorts of creative control. And to give someone like her all sorts of creative control, that is going to be epic.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for that.
Morass is agreeing with you. She's like Shonda, and she's doing the emoji.
Clearly, I've never seen a show. I'm not a fan. No, I love her. I'm such a fan of her, and just, not enough positive, nice things in the world to say about it. So excited.
I have more TV ships. Do you have any TV ships you want to talk about?
No, we talked about mine already.
Oh, okay. I have a bunch. So.
Well, how long is this list? We've been here a while.
I actually have 2 pages. I have front and back, like 2 pages, because I'm neurotic.
How many are left?
One other thing that has anybody seen Penny Dreadful? Anybody? Yeah. Yes. Of course you have. Of course you've seen Penny Dreadful. That's a ridiculous question. Ethan Chandler and Vanessa Ives. I ship them so hard, and the Penny Dreadful only lasted 3 seasons, but it was only supposed to last for 3 seasons. It ended how it was supposed to end, according to the writer and creator. And April says, nope, it's on my list, so I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, definitely Ethan Chandler and Vanessa Ives.
It's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix. Definitely watch it. It's only 3 seasons. Do it. Like, bang it out. Watch it. It's amazing. Because Ava Green is perfection. She is wonderful. And then Josh Hartnett plays Ethan Chandler. I love their chemistry together. Again, it's just because these actors' chemistry together is just so phenomenal. Their scenes together are just electric.
Even in the pilot episode, this is not spoiler because it's the pilot episode, there is a scene where he's doing this like gunslinging act, and he's he's shooting his gun, and everyone's following the movements of the gun, and her head is just straightforward when everyone else is moving their heads, and hers is just straightforward watching him. Oh my gosh, goosebumps. I love that scene. I love it. And this is the pilot episode. I mean, the directing and just the writing, it's a great show.
It is. It's so good. And
sorry, go ahead. I'm going to be so spoiler free with this. I'm just going to be very vague, but I ship Lily and Victor Frankenstein.
Oh, I do too. Oh my gosh. I love them. I love them so much. Definitely spoiler free as possible. I don't think the scene that I'm thinking about with Ethan and Vanessa, I don't think it's in the pilot episode, but I think it's in episode 2. So not very far in. There is this scene where Vanessa is doing a tarot reading for Ethan, and she's asking him to pick a card, and, he just goes to pick a card willy-nilly, and she's like, no, don't pick like that, like really think about it. And just when she turns over the card and it's the Lover's card, and her eyes immediately go to him, and just like that snap is just, oh my gosh, chills. I love it so much. Yep. I love them. I've read a lot of fan fiction about Ethan and Vanessa too because of how that show ends, but
yeah, I kind of had this moment where I was looking off into space trying to figure out a scene to reference without being spoiler filled, but I can't.
So just ship those 2, you'll be fine.
I know, I'm trying to figure out a scene to reference, but there are a lot of the one I'm thinking of is in season 2, and I'm not going to tell you because of spoilers. But he takes care of her a couple of times, and it's just your heart, just
my shipper heart pitter patters.
I love the way you just said that. That's epic.
Marassa saying I love Billie Piper. Yeah, she was. I honestly didn't even know that was Billie Piper until I looked it up. I was like, oh my gosh,
she deserves every single award. I don't know how she didn't win an Emmy for that, and I'm kind of mad about it. She played 3 different characters. I'm not going to get into this for spoilers, but she played 3 different characters on that show. Each one she did a great job with, and I can't. She should have won an award. And there's one episode, season 3, she gives a speech, and I'm just, I want to get up in my chair, do like this root for her. I love her. I love that. I love her. I love all the characters she plays because she's just so great at them. I mean, she's one of those underrated actresses. You need more of her.
That monologue in season 3, which I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. She's with Victor. I know that. And that monologue she gives. It's just her and talking. And it's like she's not even really interacting with Victor. She's just remembering her past and just the heartache. I just get get chills when I think about that scene. It's just, I watched that scene, just her and that monologue over and over again, because that, oh my gosh, she should have won just for that. She should have won an Emmy just for that scene. It was
that
so
scene
good.
breaks my heart. And then there's another really great monologue she has with the Frankenstein monster there. I don't remember his name on the show, but she's yelling at him and she has this fury, and her dialogue and the inflection in her voice. Oh my gosh. She's just, she deserves awards.
Absolutely.
What?
I said, I agree with you 1,000%. April is like, you guys are making me want to really watch this show. You should. It's on Netflix. Watch it right now.
So it was one of those shows that I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I did, but it's really fun because, again, I'm a literary buff. I'm someone, English literature, the great love of my life. So there's so many fun tie-ins. I mean, Penny Dreadful itself, they named it after Penny Press, and how you used to have these little, horror books written, Penny Dreadfuls, like that's what they were.
And they cost a penny.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have all these characters that pop up. They integrate your favorite. They integrate them into the narrative. So you have Victor Frankenstein, you have Frankenstein's monster, Jekyll and Hyde. Like they integrate your favorite, stories, and you get to kind of geek out and be fun and just, curl up on the couch and go, wait a second, I remember you. There's just, and then you get scared out of your mind, 2 scenes later. So they have a very nice balance.
That scene, that whole show is just fantastic.
They got the casting. The casting's great. They have great costumes. The directing, the writing, just everything is just, the production value is high.
It's amazing. So good.
Who else are we shipping?
Has anybody seen the show Sleepy Hollow? Angela, did you see Sleepy Hollow?
I've only saw the first season, I think.
That's enough. Because I started shipping Ika Abby the first season. Ichabod Crane and Abigail Mills. I love them so much. And the fact that that show was canceled, and I read so much Ika Abby fan fiction, it's ridiculous. But I really love those two together. Their chemistry is so good. It's just like a really genuine friendship. They care about each other as friends at first, but you can totally, there is like just this underlying hint of sexual tension. That's really, it's so good. And you're just like, just kiss each other.
The dog has decided to take over my lap in the most uncomfortable position possible.
In the what?
Most uncomfortable position. His little tush is hanging over. He's got his head, I'm trying to not let him fall.
Oh, no.
For him. I feel as if that show it was on a while ago, right?
Yeah. I think it was canceled like 2 years ago. A year or 2 years ago.
I don't know if there's something you want to, as moderator.
Oh, is there a troll in the dungeon? There we go. All right, go ahead.
I have again, I was trying to get in a position because of the dog, and my eyes were right there for that. So I have the best timing in the world. I really do. I was trying to remember that show, and I kind of just have a vague recollection. Again, when things pop up, I try and educate myself. Why is this popular? Why is this on? And so I don't think I ever really fell into that show, whether it was because of time, and now it's not on Netflix or readily available. So I haven't seen that show in a very long time.
It's not on Netflix? I thought it was.
Is it?
I watched it for like Hulu. I watched it when it was on Hulu because I always watched it like next day. But season 1 I absolutely loved, and then it was kind of like season 2 was a little like a downer for me, and then season 3 was just kind of off the rails. So I can understand why it was canceled, but I just really loved the Tom Meissen, and then Nicole Bahari, the two actors that play Ichabod Crane and Abigail Mills. They were so good together. I really enjoyed them.
I'm trying to see if it's on Netflix.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm trying to find it, but that's okay.
I thought it was on Netflix, but it could have been taken off. No idea.
Taken off because I haven't seen it in a while.
So I know it went on for at least 3 seasons. I don't think it went on for any longer than that because I think it was canceled after the 3rd season. Because Nicole Beharie, she did not return for season 3. So I can see why they canceled it because one of the main characters didn't come back. So spoiler alert for that.
My dog is now snoring very loudly.
Oh, that just means he feels safe and comfortable on your lap.
Cute.
April's like, sorry to go off topic, but I never seen Supernatural and I'm afraid to start because there are so many seasons. It's not off topic because I do have a Supernatural ship, but I'm sorry?
Who are you shipping?
Oh, Meg and Castiel.
The pizza delivery man.
Oh my gosh, I love that scene so much. It's so funny.
Thank you for getting the reference.
The pizza man. If the pizza man really loves the babysitter.
So, I mean, honestly, the first season it took me a little longer to get invested in this show because I didn't know what to expect. It's totally, there's something about this show it's different, even though it deals with demons and monsters. The brotherly connection between the two characters, you can tell those guys are friends in real life. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have great on-screen chemistry as brothers, as friends, supporting one another. I mean, I don't really know if there's a good or bad season. To me, at this point, it all kind of blends together. I mean, I think the Angel Castiel was the highlight. As soon as he got integrated into the show, that was probably my favorite because he was just hysterical. That guy, honest to goodness, he made me laugh. So once I got to that point, I was just going to keep watching. I don't know.
It is a very steep investment because there are 13. It was just renewed for season 14. And there are 22 episodes per season. So it is an investment, but I think it's worth it.
I mean, I think there were some lulls maybe season-wise. But again, if you want to, take your time with it. Again, I wasn't feeling too well when I first started watching it because, I mean, I had problems with my back and I still, it's an ongoing thing. Now I'm okay. But at the time, I was having trouble walking. I was in a lot of pain. I had, spinal things going on. And so, for me, it was kind of fun to watch this show. And, Castiel was making me laugh. It was a thing.
Yeah, Castiel comes in season 4. But, yeah, he kind of it was a fresh new aspect to the show. And I loved it. I love Castiel. He's one of the he's like a main character now, and he is fantastic. I haven't seen all of season 13, but I know it was just renewed for season 14. It's actually the longest running show in CW history. That's behind.
I saw they said that, and I'm going, well, the CW isn't that old, so they said it like it was such an honor, and I'm going, well, you're still one of the newer networks.
Right, exactly. But I'm just like, 14 seasons for a show to go on. That's actually pretty amazing.
I think what they do really well, in addition to, everything we were just talking about, is they have really fun episodes. They don't take themselves too seriously. So you as the viewer get different, takes, even though they're dealing with, life and death situations and all that jazz. They have fun. Like there's an episode where they're transported into, this alternate reality and they're the actors when the show is Supernatural. I mean, they have fun with things. So I think that also keeps you engaged. So you're not consistently following the overarching narrative, but they have episodic content as well. So I think that, the nice blend of, okay, we have this narrative that we're following, but now this episode unto itself is its own entity. And it's great. It's fun.
Yeah. I love that too. They have different episodes that are like that, but kind of, lighthearted, like, is this really happening episodes, like the repeated Tuesdays, or, they're transported into the real world where they're actually the actors playing the scenes in Supernatural. And I just think that one scene when they're trying to act in that one episode is just so funny. And there's actually, I haven't seen this episode, but I've seen spoilers. Obviously, it's hard to avoid spoilers on the internet, but there's actually an episode where they get transported into a Scooby-Doo episode, and it's a fully animated Scooby-Doo episode, and I think that's hilarious.
I mean, yeah, there was one that I was remembering. They had I'm trying to be spoiler free, but they had a trickster who put them in television shows. So they were Knight Rider. They were this weird Asian game show where they couldn't speak the language. I mean, they have fun with it. So it's not just, I think that kind of breaks it up as well, because sometimes, at least in my opinion, as, you know, a viewer or, you know, someone who studies, you know, content, when you try and have those consistent highs, it's much more difficult to have 22 or 24 episodes a season. You know, Penny Dreadful, I think, was 10 episodes. So like you can have that consistent high because it's a shorter amount of time. So they're able to, you know, integrate different storylines and keep you interested for that amount of time, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I think that's a task unto itself.
Absolutely, because like you said, Penny Dreadful, a lot of shows, especially on the CW, their episodes or their episode count is very high, like in the 20s. So it's very it's difficult to keep viewers engaged for that long. But then you have these HBO Stars Showtime shows that are just, you know, they're longer episodes. They're typically an hour long, but then you only have about 10 episodes. So it's kind of, it's, you know, it's very weird how they keep, you know, viewers invested.
No, I mean, it's interesting when you study content and you study how, because they also have to adhere to, you know, commercial breaks, you know,
Yeah.
the shows don't have, you know, if you watch HBO, you know, True Blood, they're not worried, oh, you know, at the, you know, 7-minute mark, we have to take a break for, you know, our paid commercial content. So they're able to, I mean, no, they have to deal with a lot. And so I think they do a good job balancing it all. And I don't say that freely. There are some shows that I do not think balance things well. Being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the CW for me is a hit or miss with their shows. That one I'm okay with. That one I'm okay with. That one's fine by me. And I will admit, this is a random little side note. That show is the only reason I know the Kansas song "Carry On My Wayward Sons." Only reason I know that song. Never would have heard of it.
Because of Supernatural.
They have a song, you know, "Carry On." They play it all the time. There's an episode where it's really important, and you know, there's a kind of poignant moment with the song, and so that's the only reason I know this song. So if there's ever a game show moment and that helped him win the $1 million, it's because of Supernatural. You're living out the plot of Slumdog Millionaire. That'll be my game show moment. So who else are you shipping? Who else are you shipping? Who's on the list?
I have a couple more. This was another CW show. I think it wasn't before it was the CW. It was just as it was turning into the CW. It was Smallville. And it was Clark and Lois, obviously, because you can't ship Clark.
Not him and Lana. Not him and Lana.
No, I hated Lana.
Why do I know this?
Because you know everything about me?
No. Like, why? I think that was one of the shows where people at school would talk about it, so I wanted to follow it, even though we've talked about this before, I'm not a big superhero follower. I think that's the only reason I know the Clark Kent narrative is because of that show. But Lana used to bug me on that show. She used to drive me nuts.
To no end. And they kept trying to revive that, you know, it's like they kept trying to push the Clark and Lana narrative, and I'm just like, stop it. We all know he ends up with Lois. Stop it.
Well, that was why I think I was getting frustrated more than anything else. Is again, even if you're not a fan of superhero stuff, you know Clark Kent and Lois Lane. That's one of those pop culture trivia moments you just can't, you know. That's a fact. And so when you get 9 seasons and they're still trying to say Lana's the love of his life, it's wearing thin.
I'm like, not true. Especially because Lois didn't even come into the picture until season 4, which annoys me anyway, but that's another kind of story. And they didn't even get together until season 7 or 8. You know, this show only lasted for 10 seasons, so it's just like...
Only 10 seasons.
Only. But, you know, it's like, you know these people are going to end up together, but when they kept trying to push him towards another person, I'm like, stop it, you're annoying me. You are annoying.
That took some of the fun or the enjoyment out of it. Because, again, if you know how something's going to end and they're trying to convince you it's going to go another way, that's not really going to, you know, sit well.
It's not going to fly.
Little dog says hi. I needed to move my legs. They were falling asleep.
Yeah, my whole back and I'm just like, oh, my back. But really the only two that I have left are again other CW shows, but they're kind of connected. It's Arrow and the Flash, Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke.
I knew you, as soon as you said that, I knew you were going to say that. As soon as you said the shows, I knew that was the ship coming. As soon as you said that, I could predict that.
It's so funny because in the comic books, Oliver Queen ends up with Laurel Lance, Black Canary. But in the show, I hate Laurel Lance. I want him to be with Felicity Smoke because she's so cute and I love her so much. And then in The Flash, it's Barry Allen and Caitlin Snow. I don't even ship him with Iris. I ship him with Caitlin Snow. It's so funny. April agrees with me. I love it. Oliver and Felicity.
I think that's actually when I stopped watching the show because they had gotten together and then they went their separate ways. And then I said, okay, I'm going my separate way from the show.
I'm leaving because seriously, the drama in this show, it's like seriously back and forth. Like they're not together, then they're together, and then something happens, they're not together, and then something happens, they're back together. I was like, y'all need to just make up your mind. It's really annoying. So yeah.
Yeah, somewhere between the together, not together is where they lost me.
Yeah. Well, at least for the Flash, Caitlin and Barry haven't even been together. It's kind of like just a thing that I have in my brain because their characters have kissed twice, but it's not like it's just very extenuating circumstances, and they're not even together. So I was like, I don't know why I ship them. I just do. April hates Laurel too. Yeah, I hate Laurel.
Is that the Cassidy girl?
Yes. She was on Supernatural.
What?
She was on Supernatural.
Oh yeah, Ruby?
She was the first one to play Ruby, yeah.
No, I just remember her dad was famous, and that's all I remember. Her dad was the singer, right? He was a little pop star. He was famous.
I have no idea.
I think her dad was famous. I think that's. I don't know. This is a total aside, tangent. I just remember the cat. I don't even know what her first name is. But no, I did not. I did not enjoy her character. I have a thing with the CW. This drives me absolutely crazy. And this might be why I love HBO and Starz and the other shows, because they're not afraid to get down and dirty. I mean, if you're fighting, you're not going to look perfect, okay?
Right.
Your hair is going to get messy. You're not going to be wearing leather like that. I mean, come on.
And first of all, if you're fighting, your hair is not even going to be down because they'll just pull your hair and, it's like ridiculous.
And this isn't even her fault. I mean, she's the actress. This is creative control. This is how they want to portray the characters. And so I think I get annoyed with the way they portray the character. And
yeah.
Then sometimes her line delivery as well. So, I mean, that is her. But generally speaking, I get frustrated because she's this like 90-pound little woman and she's not Buffy. I mean, I love my Sarah Michelle Gellar, but it doesn't, I don't know.
I agree with you.
I'm losing my steam. I'm like, it's 10:30, so
I know it's late there. April is saying I never considered Barry and Caitlin, but Iris is basically his sister, so I find it weird. Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's a little cringeworthy.
Yep. But those are all my ships. I mean, I could talk about
April. Thank you. She agrees with me. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. That drives me absolutely bonkers.
With their hair down? Yes.
I mean, no.
I'm remembering it's the scene in the Black Dagger Brotherhood. This, Vicious is actually talking about how in movies, fighting is so unrealistic. You're like, you don't wear your hair down because then they're going to pull it. It would seriously never happen. I'm just like, of course, Vicious, Black Dagger Brotherhood. So funny. April's would never happen.
But the thing with the CW is, their brand is, the young, beautiful people. That's, the portrayal they, hope to encapsulate. And they, the young, beautiful crowd. And they do that in the fight scenes too. And it's one of those, it's okay if you're not going to be the beautiful one in the fight scene. It's okay.
Right.
I'll let this one slide. HBO, Starz, if you get hit, you go down.
Sorry, April's like, I can't even clean the house with my hair down. So true. So true. I cannot clean my house with my hair down because it'll either get in the way Or it's really hot. I can't do it. It goes in a bun. My hair goes in a bun just every day anyway. So it's so funny.
I know. I mean, there's a lot here. And it keeps going. It's not even all in frame. That's how much hair there is. I mean, if you go to the gym, if you do something, no.
It's unrealistic. Totally agree.
This is why we need the female perspective. This is why we need more women writers, directors. This is why more women need to be in the creative industry.
Yes.
I'm starting a movement. I'm putting my fist down.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I can't even clean the house with my hair down. I'm going to remember that comment forever.
I know. Now YouTube is archiving comments, so it's here.
So that's all. Anybody else have any ships they want to talk about? Oh God, girls in the gym with their hair down. Who are you kidding?
My favorite, again, I don't mean to be critical of my own gender here, but the girls who have their makeup on in the gym, that's where I get confused. I can understand if it's the end of the day and you're going after work, after you've, been out and been doing things and then you're working out, but it's the women who have their makeup on, at 7 a.m. for yoga class or something, or, when you're in there, bright and early and they already have their makeup done. I don't know if they're not going to shower after the work or if they're going to do their makeup again. But when I see the full face of makeup at, the very early wee hours of the morning, that's the question mark. Did they just never take it off?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's where I want to, kind of go up to the stranger and ask them about their life intrusively because I'm just so curious. And then I keep wondering. I mean, that's a question though, right? Are you not going to shower? That's option one. They never took their makeup off, in which case, their skin's going to have problems. I mean, there are things to pack here.
There's like so many problems with that. So true. I don't get it. I don't wear makeup at all except when I'm filming because then I just look like, a washed out blur if I don't put on makeup. But Maras is saying even after work, I remove my makeup when I go to the gym. See? It's because you're just going to sweat it all off and then you feel gross. I mean, and then she's like, clogged pores. I don't know. It's not healthy for you.
It's true. This is why I'm curious. and I say this as having seen this done on multiple occasions. I've seen this multiple times. And so I don't understand. I'm curious what this trend is. Can we unpack this? And then, yes, I ship Alec and Magnus too. I think we had this discussion once before. I love them as a couple. I don't even really care too much about that series, generally speaking. It's not one of my all-time favorites or anything, but I love them. I just love them. I mean.
Yeah, I love them too. And in the ABC or Freeform, sorry, it's Freeform show, Shadowhunters. That's not even really a particularly good show, but Matthew Daddario and Magnus, they're two actors. I mean, I love those actors, and then their chemistry together is fantastic. I love Alec and Magnus. Same.
Agree. Preach. No, I watched the show because people had been talking about it, and then I was curious because I had read the books. Again, Freeform is not my go-to network, but the show, I love their two characters in the show. I'm rooting for them so hard. I love them together. They're so cute.
Yeah, they are. They are cute. April, I've never seen this show. I'm afraid I'll hate it. Just give it a chance.
It's not the best show. I mean, I'll be honest.
It's not the greatest, but just watch it. If you have any, a spare hour, just do it.
If you're doing laundry and you're folding and,
there you go.
You can take your hair down, or you're putting it up because you're cleaning the house, or you're going to put the volume on high. I mean, it's
like, yeah, just do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some issues with that show, just generally speaking. It's not my favorite. I know some people really, really enjoy it. I am not one of them. Freeform, for some reason, never really hits home with me. Some of their programming, I just tried to watch the Spyron one, the mermaid. That's kind of cool.
After 286 episodes of Supernatural. Yeah, it's on the list.
Oh my goodness, you're never leaving your home again. You're just because now you get Penny Dreadful, you get Supernatural. I mean, we're just gonna tell you how to spend your days now. Apparently,
right?
I'm trying to think if there's any other shows.
That's my list. We've exhausted my list. Are you looking behind you?
Yeah. I was gonna say we should probably do part 2, part 3 because there's enough to keep talking about.
I could probably just pick random stuff like from my brain. April, thank gosh I can watch it at work if it's slow. Yeah, totally. Once you finish all your stuff, just put it on. Bring your tablet.
This is hysterical. I love you too. That's so cute. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this at work. That's awesome. That
just
makes
watch it in between your 2 patients that you'll have at night.
Then the dog is snoring again, and I gotta move my legs, so he's gonna be mad.
Oh,
oh, puppy.
Yeah, everything is falling asleep because it's been. I don't know if you guys know this. We've been at this for 3 hours. I swear, Angela, you and we could do the 8-hour broadcast. I'm not even lying. We could totally do it.
We could do the Truman Show brought to life.
We could totally do it. It's not even a thing.
It's a very real possibility. If we had a pot of coffee, and we just, we're like, yeah, let's look behind us with our libraries. Never-ending conversation. Just keep going.
April, or none like tonight. I'm so glad I was able to watch this. You guys are so fun. I could talk about books for hours. You didn't have a single patient tonight. That sometimes happens. They close at 8 o'clock, so it's 15 to 8 right now. So if they don't have a patient by now, they won't. So that's so funny. You didn't have a single patient.
I'm so glad you joined us. This is so fun. I mean, it's nice to, again, being on Nicole's channel, I get to, meet new people. So hi, Nicole. It's so great to, I love this. I mean, I feel badly that, nobody aside from us entertained you. But on the other hand, considering the fact you guys deal with illnesses, that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really rooting for you to be busy.
Right. If it's slow, that means no one was injured. So, but yeah, I mean, you get paid for sitting watching us for 3 hours.
You get to talk about Mortal Instruments. You get to talk about Penny Dreadful. Just, the funness. There's a little puppy.
And now I'm subscribed to your channel too, Angela. She's so sweet.
Do you make videos? I mean, are you a content creator or no? Not yet?
She doesn't create any content. She just has this to watch. I don't want to say to watch me, but
Aw, you're so popular. People just love you. We're just creating YouTube channels just to watch your pretty little face.
April is so sweet. She was very excited for me when I told her about my YouTube channel. So she says, no, just a watcher.
Oh, well, I'm so honored that you're going to subscribe. That's so sweet. I think I'm blushing now. I can't help it. Aw, that's so sweet.
So if anybody else has any ships they want to talk about, I know it's really late for Angela, 3 hours difference. It's, nearly 11 o'clock there for you.
It is 10:45.
So I think, we've exhausted my list. We've talked about some great ships, but I think we're done for the night.
I know. I was going to say, I can sleep in a little bit. I'm doing my first editor interview, someone who's a romance editor tomorrow.
Oh, that's fun.
And then I'm interviewing Mia Sosa later in the morning, almost afternoon at like 10 or 11. So
really?
When are you? I'm gonna have to go to bed eventually.
When are you interviewing? You're doing the readathon for this interview. When is that?
I'm doing the what? That's for no, I'm doing a live stream with Sarah Portman in a month. It's gonna be on June 13th, and so she's the Golden Heart winner from she won the Golden Heart from the RWA a year or two ago. So she wrote The Brides of Bedwell, I believe that's the title. So I was going to try and figure out a way to organize a buddy read or just tell people I'm reading this, and if you want to comment along before I do a live stream talking with her. Just trying to put that option out there, I guess. Be aware she wrote a book and I'm going to be talking to her. Yeah, no, but this is for my dissertation, so I'm trying to get I'm finally starting to talk to people, and it's really exciting. Nicole was my very first reader interview, which was so, sweet and love you. My very first one.
I was very excited and very honored that you asked me to do an interview for your very important dissertation. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this right. Oh my gosh.
No, you're perfect. No, I mean, again, I think it was kind of nice to like talk it out a little bit as well because it's just been so in my head this entire time, and nobody's been supportive. And it's like, it's been a thing. It's still a thing. We won't get into that now, but
yeah,
it's been a very interesting couple of weeks on my end. But no, in the last, I'm still proceeding. I'm finally off to do research now. We're in that phase, and so tomorrow is the start of another day of research. And I interviewed Beverly Jenkins, which was like the highlight of my life.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous.
I just she's the queen. She's the goddess.
The goddess divine.
She is the modern goddess divine. She is. If you're not reading Beverly Jenkins, people, you should be. I recommend Beverly Jenkins.
Beverly Jenkins readathon.
What?
Beverly Jenkins readathon.
We need to organize that. That needs to become a thing.
That needs to happen.
That needs to happen. We need to discuss Indigo. We need to discuss all the Breathless, and we need to discuss Deadly Sexy. What is it?
He says, P.S. having your school career be related to reading is like a dream come true. So jealous.
Well, I mean, I have an interdisciplinary background, so it's really hard for people to figure me out when they first try and, the academic side of me, because I do pop culture. And so, it's, being able to talk about romance novels for my dissertation is the best thing ever. Forever. I mean, it was not this was an uphill battle, and I had to claw my way to get this as my topic. But, now it's mine. But
you did, and you're making a difference.
Oh. Now you're gonna make me cry.
I love that, how this was so important to you, and even though people were so against you, you still fought and, like you said, clawed your way, and you're making a reality. And I just think we totally need that. The romance genre, women around the world, we need that.
That's the thing, when you try and tell me it's not important, I'm going, okay, the genre that takes up a majority of, book sales, the genre written by women for women, which is underrepresented. I mean, there's so much to talk about. And so it's a shame that it doesn't get discussed as much. But I'm really happy that it's starting to. I mean, there's been a little bit of a shift as of late, which is kind of awesome. And I think, another entire live stream unto itself is the Cockygate incident.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if we want to do that, we totally can, because I am like spreading that petition around like nobody's business.
I think that's a live stream discussion unto itself. I've been following this from the day it happened.
Yes.
I want to do a study of it. I mean, I am utterly fascinated and captivated, and I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see what happens next. I mean, I have a vested interest in this.
It's kind of like a horrific car accident. You just can't turn away.
Nor should you, because it's so important. I mean, this is one of those things, like not a car accident, but I mean, this Cockygate incident is so important. It'd be as if a sci-fi writer trademarked the word alien, or, was saying extraterrestrial or something. So, I mean, it's interesting.
It doesn't just affect the romance genre. It's definitely, this could have happened to any genre, and it's relevant.
Bringing romance conversations to the forefront, people. Yeah. And I get to talk with you about romance, which is like the best thing ever. I love being able to. It's so wonderful being able to talk to someone who has that same love and appreciation, because I love you.
Yeah, this seriously. As soon as like you asked me to create the romance book club with you, and I'm just like kindred spirits. We just clicked so. Like from the start,
named after me. I told my mom. I finally told my mom about this, and she's so. She did what? Because it's so cute. I was like, I can't believe. You're the best. I love you. And the dog.
And seriously, the more we talk and the more we discuss things, it's like we are seriously the same person. It's scary.
He's got bedhead, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's so cute.
He's got bedhead. Put those little eyes on him. He keeps giving me the sad face because I have to keep moving around. We got 3 fur babies, though.
I do. But they're not in here. They're out, probably with their father.
Isn't he wondering where you are? Or is he just going, no, she's talking to Angela, we're good?
Probably. Well, as I was on my way home, I call him every time I'm off and I'm on my way home. I call him, and he was just like, "Oh, we need to take the trucks in to get the tire changed." I was like, "You need to do that because I have a live stream with Angela." Sorry about your bad luck, but you need to call somebody else. There's no way I was missing this.
No, I mean, because it's like you get to talk to someone who just gets you, and then we get to talk with our friends. I mean, you see the comments pop up, and it's just so much fun. I mean, this is the best way to spend a Tuesday, I'm telling you. Best way to spend a Tuesday.
That should be our slogan.
Best way to spend a Tuesday, talking about, all the happiness and fun. I mean, seriously, last Tuesday, 10 Things I Hate About You. And I had been having a very long day, and so that made me feel so much better. Before we were talking about our books. I mean, this is just awesome. I love it.
Well, ladies, time for me to clock out. Yes, it's 8 o'clock. It's time for you to go. Thanks for an awesome chat. I have notifications on, so maybe I can jump in on the next one. Yes. Oh, for the live stream for the Romantics at Heart Book Club, April, we are talking about Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. I will text you. Hopefully you can read it and discuss with us, because that would be awesome. It was great seeing you on the live stream.
I'm so happy to have met you. I'm like waving. I didn't know if I was in frame or not. I was like, bye. I'm kind of glad no one needed your emergency assistance tonight, and I'm honored that you joined us. This is so much fun. I know it's almost 11 o'clock for me. So
yeah, I think it's time for us to make what is this? It's a wrap.
Remember Buffy with the little thing, grr, arg? We need to.
I wanted that on a shirt.
You just get me. It's so great. You get the reference. We need to have our own little sign off. We need our own little monster going grr arg. That's what I was getting out of that.
We should. We definitely should. We have our slogan, best way to spend a Tuesday, and we need an ending arg.
Oh, we have hearts. I don't know
what
the slogan could be. I ship it. A little whoosh sound. I love how this is out of frame the entire conversation.
April, I'll text you the name of the book, and then we meet the first Tuesday of every month to talk about said book. So I will text you. Okay. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye, April. Welcome to the club.
So I think that's a wrap for us. We talked about all of our ships. I mean, I could talk about ships forever. I mean, I probably have thousands more, but it's really, really late for you, my friend. So it's time for, if we're going to wrap up.
I know, I was going to say I have to wake up early because the woman I'm interviewing is at 8 or 8:30. So I got to wake up beforehand, review my questions, put my face on, and not go to the gym with my makeup on. No.
Wow.
Conversation unto itself.
Harass. Bye, ladies. Sorry I wasn't active tonight. Work stuff. Just having you present in there is wonderful. Thank you so much for supporting us. We love you so much. I swear every time this woman tweets something, it's a book or author that I love, and I'm just like, oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by.
I know, no apologies needed. I mean, I love her. I mean, and I read her book, Delight. I read it.
Did you?
I read it. It was adorable. I was so happy.
I need to. Oh my gosh, I need to. This month.
I mean, I will admit, I'm not familiar with the foreign language elements, so some of that went over my head. But the familial content, it had some terminology that I didn't understand at first, but I got used to it.
Yeah.
It didn't deter me. It didn't detract from the read. It was really cute because it was a friends situation, which I know you enjoy. Friends. Yeah. I was gonna say I recommend it. I'm like, we're gonna have to do something with her one night. We're gonna have to do something talking about this book.
As soon as I read it, we can totally do like a oh my gosh, I need a direct message, both of you, because I just have this wonderful, wonderful idea. But I know we need to call it a night because you need to go to bed, ma'am, and I need to fix my husband dinner. But I will DM all of us, Morass, Angela, me on Twitter, because I have an idea. All right. So I'm very excited about it.
I know, your energy you just perked right up.
I did. I was like, oh, I have an idea. Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, I need like an injection of coffee, like a Gilmore Girl, coffee and TV.
Right here. All right. So it was wonderful chatting with everybody about our favorite ships. And Angela, I hope you have a wonderful night. Get lots of rest. You're busy, busy, busy. And I wish you the best of luck tomorrow with your interviews. And I hope they all go well. And I hope just everything in your life goes well and you have a smile on your face all day.
You are this bright ray of sunshine in the world. I love you so much. I love your face. I'm so glad I met you. I just want to keep you.
You do. You have me.
Oh,
all right, everybody. We will see you later.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been so much fun. Best way to spend a Tuesday, I'm telling you. Best way.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night. And I'm stopping broadcast.
Ooh.